Now find Roman. Swimming now. Roman finding a going to be
outside the boot finish.
Flint. Scott Ludwig into the 18. Crosses it for Mulder. Jensen!
Side. Jagby's now in for the green. It's a Jagby! 4-0!
And now find Roman. Swimming now. Roman finding a going to be
Outside the boot finish.
Flint. Scott Ludwig into the 18. Crosses it for Mulder. Jensen!
Side. Jagby's now in for the green. It's a Jagby! 4-0!
And now find Roman. Swimming now. Roman finding a going to be
Outside the boot finish.
Flint. Scott Ludwig into the 18. Crosses it for Mulder. Jensen!
Side. Jagby's now in for the green. It's a Jagby! 4-0!
And now find Roman. Swimming now. Roman finding a going to be
Outside the boot finish.
Flint. Scott Ludwig into the 18. Crosses it for Mulder. Jensen!
Side. Jagby's now in for the green. It's a Jagby! 4-0!
And now find Roman. Swimming now. Roman finding a going to be
Outside the boot finish.
Flint. Scott Ludwig into the 18. Crosses it for Mulder. Jensen!
Side. Jagby's now in for the green. It's a Jagby! 4-0!
And now find Roman. Swimming now. Roman finding a going to be
Outside the boot finish.
Flint. Scott Ludwig into the 18. Crosses it for Mulder. Jensen!
Outside, a Jagby's now in for the green. It's a Jagby! 4-0!
Now find Roman. Swimming now. Roman finding a going to be
That Rosas! Outside the boot finish.
Flint. Got Ludwig. Into the 18. Crosses it for Mulder. Jensen!
Outside, a Jagby's now in for the green. It's a Jagby! 4-0!
The Flint City Bucks are moving on to the national championship game. Champions are on their way. Looking to repeat. Flint City Bucks await.
Good evening, one and all, and welcome to the 2026 USL League 2 National Final pregame show, live from Atwood Stadium in Flint, Michigan. I'm Tanner White alongside Alexis Ayala, and we want to welcome everybody watching exclusively on Sports Engine Play. Tonight, we've reached the pinnacle of the USL League 2 season. After months of competition featuring 158 clubs from across the United States and Canada, thousands of players chasing the opportunity to compete for a national championship and one of the most exciting playoff fields the sport has ever seen, folks. In just a few hours' time, one club will lift that 2026 USL League 2 championship trophy.
Tanner, this is what every player, every coach, and every supporter has worked for since opening day. The road to this moment has taken these clubs through conference races, regional playoffs, and national semifinals victories, all leading to this one final test that they've prepared all season long for. Tonight, everything they've worked for comes down to just 90 minutes. By the end of the night, we'll crown our 2026 USL League 2 national champions.
And Alexis, what a championship matchup we have here in Flint in the 8-1-0. The home side and the host side, Flint City Bucks, are back on the biggest stage in American pre-professional soccer. One of the most decorated clubs in League 2 history. The Bucks have built a championship tradition over the decades, and they now have the opportunity to take this thing here in front of the home supporters at historic Atwood Stadium. Standing across from them, defending champions Vermont Green, an undefeated run throughout the 2025 regular season. Guess what? They're back there this season, and they have quickly established themselves in the last couple of years among the league's elite.
This championship has everything a fan could hope for. A legendary club, a defending national champion, two outstanding teams, outrageous wild fans, but just one national title. Over the next hour, we'll take you through each club's road to the national final, hear from players and coaches, break down some incredible storylines for you all, and highlight what could ultimately decide who lifts that trophy.
As you might imagine, we'll also hear from key members of each organization. We'll reveal some of the biggest moments from the USL League 2 playoffs, how the heck we got here, and then we'll get to set these matchups for you and see who could make the difference in tonight's championship match.
And before kickoff, of course, we'll bring you tonight's official starting lineups. Check in from around Atwood Stadium as the energy is just building by the second here. And we cannot wait to set you up for what promises to be another unforgettable national championship day.
When we return, we'll break down tonight's championship matchup. Once more, Flint City Bucks and visiting Vermont Green FC, comparing and contrasting two of the best in the country and highlighting key battles that could decide this 2026 national championship. The road ends here, folks. There's just one final match to play and one national champion to be crowned. And the 2026 USL League 2 pregame show continues now exclusively on Sports Engine Play. See you on the other side of the break.
Every day across the U.S. and around the globe, thousands of businesses rely on Venture to keep their operations humming. From payroll and benefits to technology platforms, HR support, and talent solutions, over 3 million employees and their businesses trust Venture will be there for them day in and day out. Venture HR supports every step from hire to retire.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals. We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Great game footage starts with VIO. Now a pass deep and up front. With NSN, we can transfer your VIO footage into a professional broadcast. Elevate your VIO experience today. Call 248-525-2083.
Opportunity and a shot and a goal!
going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Great game footage starts with VIO. Now a pass deep and up front. With NSN, we can transfer your VIO footage into a professional broadcast. Elevate your VIO experience today. Call 248-525-2083.
Opportunity and a shot and a goal!
The National Soccer Network, your home for soccer.
Every day across the U.S. and around the globe, thousands of businesses rely on Venture to keep their operations humming. From payroll and benefits to technology platforms, HR support, and talent solutions, over 3 million employees and their businesses trust Venture will be there for them day in and day out. Venture HR supports every step from hire to retire.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
And now we welcome you back uninterrupted inside beautiful, sloshy, soggy, historic Atwood Stadium. It's just what we're going to be dealing with, I think, all evening long, Alexis. Nonetheless, I'm Tanner White. She is Alexis Ayala. And this is the 2026 USL League 2 National Final pregame show exclusively on Sports Engine Play. After nearly 3 months of regular season play, an unbelievable playoff field that's seen some of the craziest highs and lows, ups, downs, and arounds. 158 clubs chasing the same goal throughout this regular season. It all comes down to tonight. The host Flint City Bucks and visiting Vermont Green FC are 1 win away each from the 2026 USL League 2 National Championship.
Tanner, this is exactly the type of matchup that fans hoped to see. On one side, you have the Flint City Bucks, who are the most decorated team in USL League 2's history. On the other side, Vermont Green FC. They're the defending national champions and coming off an absolutely stellar, dominant season. This is where tradition meets defending champs. It doesn't get much better than this.
Could not be more in agreement with you. Let's start with the regular seasons. Both of these clubs have tremendously high expectations of themselves. Flint City, they captured the Great Lakes Division Championship with a 10-1-1 record, a plus 25 goal differential on the back of 38 goals scored, just 13 conceded. Once the playoffs began, they just cranked it up a notch. So the first round of the postseason, FC Buffalo 2-0, dirt off your shoulder. The second round, Steel City FC out of Pittsburgh, that is 2-1 in the round of 16. Shut out Peoria City, a 4-0 drubbing to win the Central Conference Championship, and then blanked Ventura County Fusion 1-0 in the national semifinal right here at Atwood Stadium last weekend. That's 4 playoff matches. That's 4 victories and a single goal allowed.
Vermont Green has been just as, if not even more impressive as that. After finishing the regular season with the best record in the Northeast Division at 13-0-1, the defending champions have simply dominated the postseason. They opened with a 4-0 victory over Ironbound SC, following that with another 4-0 win over Ocean City Nor'easters. In the Eastern Conference Final, they defeated Asheville City SC by another 4-0 scoreline before making perhaps the biggest statement of the season with a 7-1 victory over Laredo Heat SC in the national semifinal game. 4 playoff matches, 4 wins, 19 goals scored, and just 1 goal conceded.
all sounds like a broken record. But I gotta tell you, Alexis, when you compare these two teams, it's really tough to find weaknesses about them. We say that's part of our job, and we're kind of grasping at straws sometimes. What we can tell you, Flint has relied on championship experience, defensive organization, and the energy of playing at Atwood Stadium. The faithful around here, the rat's nest is packed. We'll get plenty of shots of that throughout the game, and they just continue to pour in here while the rain continues to pour down. Vermont Green has overwhelmed opponents with relentless attacks. They score goals in bunches, and they're still one of the stingiest defensive clubs in the nation. The numbers really tell those whole stories. Best goal differentials within each of their divisions. Vermont Green raised the bar even higher with 64 scores in the regular season, conceding only 12. That is a plus 52 differential. And both clubs have elevated their play further in the postseason. They have ascended, and there is no doubt both arrived tonight playing their best soccer all year long.
What makes this matchup so compelling is not only all of these similarities between these two clubs, but honestly the contrast between the two of them. You have the Flint City Bucks, who carry that decades of championship experience. Meanwhile, you have Vermont Green, who has quickly become one of the league's model organizations. After winning the 2025 national championship with an undefeated season, they're now just one victory away from defending that title. One club is looking to add another chapter to a long history of legendary success. Meanwhile, the other is trying to establish that next great dynasty in the USL League 2.
Let me tell you, home field advantage could be huge this evening as the rain continues to pour, and those who know this pitch best just might take advantage of it. Flint City faithful, like we've said, they are packing Atwood Stadium, and it's throughout this entire playoff run they've been showing up. Now they get the chance to celebrate a national championship on home turf. But Vermont has proven that they can play anywhere. They've won on the road. They've dominated playoff games. They've handled pressure tremendously well, like that pressure to repeat. And now just 90 minutes separates one of these clubs from that national title.
Coming up next, we'll take a look at tonight's visiting team. We'll revisit the Vermont Green FC championship tradition, break down their outstanding 2025 campaign, and hear from the players and coaches who have helped this historic club become just one win away from yet another USL League 2 national championship. Stay with us. The 2026 USL League 2 national final pregame show continues live from Atwood Stadium here in Flint, Michigan, exclusively on Sports Engine Play, presented by Venture HR.
Every day across the U.S. and around the globe, thousands of businesses rely on Venture to keep their operations humming. From payroll and benefits to technology platforms, HR support, and talent solutions, over 3 million employees and their businesses trust Venture will be there for them day in and day out. Venture HR supports every step, from hire to retire.
USL Youth is where the journey begins. Each summer, USL Youth creates a competitive playing environment that complements the existing calendar, offering meaningful games, opportunities to play unique competition, and a great alternative to traditional preseason tournaments, all tied in to a national final. The summer programming is built for players from U10 through U19, designed to elevate player development and connect clubs to something bigger. USL Youth brings together the experiences, moments, and relationships that shape a player's journey, meeting every participant where they are and fueling the reasons why they play. This is USL Youth. This is why.
And once more, we will welcome you back inside Atwood Stadium here in Flint, Michigan, the USL League 2 final pregame show. I'm Tanner White. She is Alexis Ayala. Lexi, over these last two seasons, arguably no team's made a bigger impact on all of League 2 and the landscape of the league than Vermont Green FC. After capturing that 2025 national title with an undefeated run, the Green entered 2026 with the sky-high expectations that come from being those defending champs, getting everybody's best shot. Instead of taking a step back, they've taken a step further forward. A 13-0-1 regular season in a stacked Northeast division. They claimed that division title once again, and they're now one win away from defending that national championship.
And Tanner, that's incredibly difficult to do because every team circles the defending champion on the schedule. Every opponent wants to be the one that ends your run, but Vermont Green has embraced that challenge all season long. They've remained one of the most disciplined, complete, and dangerous teams in the country, and that confidence has carried them directly into the postseason.
Their playoff run has been frankly frightening. Vermont Green opened with a 4-0 win over Ironbound SC. Start to tell us if that sounds familiar. Followed by another 4-0 win over Ocean City Nor'easters. The Eastern Conference Final, you'll never guess. They shut out Asheville SC 4-0 before delivering perhaps the most impressive performance of the season across all of League Two. A 7-1 victory over Laredo Heat SC in the national semifinal. Once again, that's 4 playoff matches. That's 4 victories, a plus 18 differential. It has been a championship caliber performance every step of the way.
Championship teams are built around strong leadership, and Vermont Green has plenty of it. One player who has helped lead the way to the national championship game all season long has been Brandon Marshall. His experience, his leadership, and his consistency has been an integral part of this squad's success. Earlier this week, we caught up with Brandon, sat down and had a chat with him. Take a look.
I think it's such a cool place to be in the summer. And a couple of years before, we had a lot of Providence guys head down, and I've only heard pretty good things. And my head coach at Providence has a good relationship with our director Adam Pfeiffer. They're actually brothers-in-law, so I think that was the kind of the main selling point of my coach where he wanted me to go. And after last summer, there's no way I would play for any other summer league team this year. So I think just kind of having that continuity and being able to come to a place where you're always wanted is something that I always kind of want to have. And last summer was perfect, and I want to just kind of come back and do it again. I tell Chris all the time, it's been, these trainings have been better than some first team sessions that I've been a part of. And we score a bunch of goals because we're so athletic. I think our team loves to run, and we love to get running. That's kind of been our saying for the summer. But in training, it's definitely been fun trying to defend all these guys, every day, every week. It obviously makes you better, but at the end of the day, when it comes to the games, all of our team knows what the deal is when we're in transition, when we're running, when we're with the ball. We all have a certain plan that Chris gives us every week, and as long as we follow it, the goals will come. Yeah, I think obviously, no run is going to be similar. I think obviously last year took a lot of, hard work and obviously a bunch of comebacks throughout the summer, and I think that's something that we had in our locker last year. But I think for us this year, we don't want to get out early and want to get scoring early. If you look at all of our games, the first 2 playoff games, we've kind of come out and being up at 3-0 at half the past 3 games, and even with the Laredo game being able to go 2-0 up in 10 minutes or in 30 minutes, whatever it was, it's something that we really want to kind of have in our locker, that we can come out and score on anyone at any moment. And a lot of guys have experience from last year, but at the end of the day, it's a whole new playoff run. It's a whole new squad. It's a whole new team. So, this team is, has its own kind of personalities and characteristics. But I think for us, it's keep winning games, keep doing what we've been doing all year. And, at the end of the day, whatever Chris says goes, and we have to listen to his game plan for each game. Yeah, I think it's obviously a big change. Our home fans are unreal. The league has seen it all year, and our fans I think are some of the best fans in the league, and they show it every week in every game, men's and women's side too, which is something that not many teams can say about their own club. But obviously having the experience to go to Laredo in a tough environment, playing in that national semifinal, it felt like a League One game with a lot of fans, and no one in that stadium even wanted us to touch the ball, even wanted us to win the game. So it's a good experience for us to have under our belt going into Michigan. I think it's hard to win away in this league no matter what. Winning away in a national final is going to be a little difficult, but at the end of the day, I back my 20 guys over any 20 guys in the nation. And, Chris knows that message too, and our staff knows that it's us 20 against the nation. And, I back my guys every time. So going there is going to be a little difficult, but at the end of the day, we're going to win a national final. The club and community put so much into this, and we play for our community, we play for our fans, we play for the state, really. So going back to back would mean the world to a lot of guys here, and even honestly, we're playing for our fans and we're playing for the owners. Our 3 owners are some of the best in the business, and the work that they put in, week out for us, and just for us, be able to play, it's unreal. So that's kind of the message been throughout the weeks, is just can we keep winning for our fans? The fans deserved a final, and unfortunately they didn't get it. So for us, it's just, how can we keep giving them performances to, please them and make them happy. We're going to have a good amount of group and a good amount of fans, come to the final and show support. That's how big and we mean to this club, and we honestly just want to pay it back. And going back to back with a national final is something that wasn't on my mind joining this club about a year ago. But, now when it comes to it, we really just want to win for the fans, win for the community, and, they deserve it. So we want to give them the best performance we can.
And thanks so much to Brandon Marshall for talking to us there earlier in the week. But I tell you what, Alexis, it starts at the top. You know what I mean? Those top-level clubs, they also have fantastic leadership on their sidelines. Head coach Chris Taylor has guided Vermont through another outstanding campaign. We've hit on that so much throughout the show already. He's created that culture, though. It's built on accountability. It's hard work. They play together as well as anybody in the country. With another opportunity to compete for a national championship on the line, we also got to sit down with Coach Taylor, discussing the title, the defense, the growth of his team throughout the season as well, because they're still getting better. That's the insanity of it all about this club, and preparing for their biggest matchup of the season.
Obviously last year it was a bit, I'd call it like a bit of a magical journey, magical ride, because we hadn't been that far before. It was about setting new heights for the club, and every round of the playoffs we went through, it was new. This year has been very, very different in terms of the expectation. There's been a lot of pressure on us to repeat, which is not normal. I don't think anyone who wins a national championship thinks they're going to do it again. You want to do it again, but you know how hard it is to win one. So I think this year we've had maybe a bit more edge to us, that we're maybe not everyone's favorite team anymore because we won, and that there's a lot of people who maybe don't want us to win as much as they did in the first year, which is okay. And so I think we've been really focusing on ourselves and pushing each other to try and go through every challenge that's come our way this year, knowing that we've got a massive target on our back. Year over year, I think it's the bigger picture of the club. The relationship between the players, the fans, the community, the ownership, all of it. When you play for Vermont Green, you're not just a bunch of players. You're representing a wider community of Burlington, Vermont, but also Vermont as a state. And, we have such buy-in from our community that the players respond to that so well, and they know that they've maybe got to go that extra yard because it means a little more for us, because we've got people who really are supporting us back in Vermont, whether it's at our games or traveling to watch games or watching on live streams. And so I think just that connection with our community, the connection with the club is really, really special. And it allows us to demand a certain type of work ethic and a certain type of culture from the players that the community, needs to see represented in our club. I mean, they're outstanding first and foremost. I know I've watched a lot of their players. They've got some players that we would have liked to have had, and I think vice versa for them. It's a fantastic matchup. I'm really excited to play them because they are such a big name in USL2. They've kind of flown the flag for this league for many, many years on how to be a good USL2 team and how to be a USL community. So I'm really excited to go against a club with so much history, and they do things the right way, it seems. So that's going to be really fun to kind of put our two clubs together, because we're really new, right? We're still really new at this, and we're learning. We've had success along the way, no doubt, but we'll always have such respect for teams like Flint and some other clubs that have been in it for a long time. But they've got some outstanding attacking talent. Again, some players that we know really well, some players we've watched from afar. And I think it's just going to be two teams who are going to go for it. And that was probably the best part about the national championship last year with Ballard. Two outstanding teams went toe-to-toe, and either team could have won it. We ended up getting that moment at the end of the game, but I think last year's national championship was an amazing advertisement for USL2, and I'm hoping this game with Flint will be the same, because both teams are loaded with talent and they're loaded with a fantastic culture behind the club. I mean, any national championship in isolation, I think, is an amazing achievement, and And last year was definitely one of the greatest moments I've experienced in sports. And it, for the club, it was such an amazing achievement because, again, and this is no different to many clubs, and I'm sure Flint feel the same. The amount of effort that people put into this from an ownership point of view, from people who are part of the club, but also just community point of view, it feels like you're able to, give people the recognition they deserve when you win a national championship. So if we were able to win it this year, just in isolation, forget about winning it last year, it will be a tremendous achievement. And to do it undefeated is just, you've got to get a lot of luck along the way, because that's not normal in sports, because sometimes weird things can just happen and you can lose a game. Add in the back-to-back nature. So if we win it, back-to-back undefeated national championships, I can't really explain how much that would mean, because that would take so much work. The first year took so much work. This year, I think I can only speak for myself. I think I worked even harder to try and live up to the pressure and the expectation. So it would be an incredible reward for everyone. And I would just love for our players, our staff, our ownership, our community to feel like, we've all done it again. It's going to be a huge task to get by Flint. But if we do, as you say, it puts us in the history books as probably one of the greatest achievements in USL2 history.
Tanner, what stands out about Vermont Green is how connected they truly are. Every single player knows their role. They know how to attack together, defend together, stay on a string, and they trust one another in every single moment of the match. That's the identity of a championship team.
They've already accomplished a lot of special things, and they will continue to. They've followed up that undefeated regular season, the championship last year, and they've just continued to get better this year. Unreal, that 13-0-1 record. They now find themselves back on that biggest stage. Tonight, they're 90 minutes away from accomplishing something even greater, the title defense.
When we return, we'll dive more into the home team, the Flint City Bucks, their rich tradition, their road to the national final, hear from some player and coaches as well, hoping to deliver another championship in front of their home crowd here at Atwood Stadium. So stay with us. The 2026 USL League 2 National Final pregame show will be right back exclusively on Sports Engine Play, presented by Venture HR.
Every day across the U.S. and around the globe, thousands of businesses rely on Venture to keep their operations humming. From payroll and benefits to technology platforms, HR support, and talent solutions, over 3 million employees and their businesses trust Venture will be there for them day in and day out. Venture HR supports every step from hire to retire.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
And once more, we welcome you back to the 2026 USL League 2 National Final pregame show, live from Atwood Stadium. It just continues to crank up the volume every single moment. Can you feel it at home, folks? We are live exclusively on Sports Engine Play. I'm Tanner White. She is Alexis Ayala. And if there's one club that defines the history of USL League 2, it is these host Flint City Bucks. For nearly 3 decades, the Bucks have set the standard in American pre-professional soccer. 4 championships that still stand as the most in USL League 2 history, and a chance for a 5th this evening. They develop future professionals, they win, and they build some of the most respected organizational pieces anywhere in the game. Tonight, they're back where they believe that they belong, playing for a national championship, and they get to do it here at home.
Tanner, the expectation around this club every year is always to compete for titles. That's the culture that's been built here in Flint. Every summer brings a new group of players, but the expectation never changes. Win the division, make a playoff run, and compete for a national championship. This season has been another perfect example of that rich tradition.
We've already mentioned that they've captured the Great Lakes Division Championship, a 10-1-1 record within the division before putting together this outstanding playoff run. We've already told you the numbers. 2-0 victory in the first round over FC Buffalo, 2-1 over Steel City FC. Peoria City 4-0 dropped in the semifinal, or in the Central Conference final rather. And then in front of the home crowd last weekend, they earned their place in tonight's national final with a 1-0 victory over Ventura County Fusion. Once more, that's 4 playoff matches, 4 victories, and a single goal conceded. That's championship soccer.
While the results have been impressive, it's truly the way that Flint City plays that stands out. They're organized defensively. They attack in transition. And when opportunities present themselves, they are clinical in front of goal. That's been the identity of this club for years, and it's been on full display throughout the 2026 regular season. They're hoping to bring that in to the national championship game, and one player who has been at the center of that success all season long is Oliver Muller-Jensen. His leadership and consistency has helped propel this squad all the way to the final game. We got a chance to sit down with Oliver and discuss what it would be like to bring another national title home to Flint City. Take a look.
I think it's just the whole team in general. We became a family so quickly into the season and started to bond with each other, and everyone around the team, staff and members. They're super, super welcoming and make life easy for you. Whenever you need anything, you can go to them, and then they'll try and help you sort it out. So I feel like all the support and all the help that you can get and the bonds that you create here is truly something you don't find everywhere. So yeah, I think everything about this team is just very special. I think it was a pretty special play. It was a moment of individual brilliance. We had Callum, who started everything, and then you don't see it often, but the referee decided to play an advantage that really helped us. And then we just, as a team, we know that we play until the final whistle and we don't give up on any plays. So as the attack developed, we knew where we wanted to go and what the end goal we were trying to get. And that's always to score a goal. And for the ball to land on my feet and to see it hit the back of the net is something, it feels surreal to me. I think our team, we have a lot to give, especially attacking wise. We have a bunch of very, very talented players that can do things individually, but also are very good team players. So I feel like it's kind of hard to deal with us because we have so much power coming at you from so many different positions. It varies from midfield to attack as well. So I feel like having this many players that can help us score and win a game is very dangerous for everyone we play. To every game, just looking at that game at a time. And obviously when we suffered the loss, it was a blow. It was something that annoyed us a little bit, but we kept our heads high and we kept moving forward because we knew one game is not going to define our season or who we are or where we want to go. So we were all on the same page, and in the next game we showed that we're back to where we belong. So obviously it's a setback, but we all have the same goal, the same mindset. So we didn't let it get to us too much, and then just kept focused on the next one. I mean, their whole team is a bunch of talented, disciplined group of players. We know what they have to offer. They are a very, very strong team. It's going to be super difficult to play against them, but it's a challenge that we're up for. We know we have a very good squad as well. We just have to prepare as best as possible and then leave it all out there because in a final, everything can happen. You never know. I have seen their score lines and everything and how they play. And I'm very impressed, I must say, but also it's just another game and anything can happen. And if we're going to show up, I feel like we're going to give them a very good run for it. But for sure, it's going to be a very hard game. Our fans, we have such a dedicated and loyal fan base, so it's kind of like a 12th man on the field when we play. And yeah, and it's something I can't express enough, but the fans help us a lot when we play, giving us the support and backup that we need in tough moments. So yeah, being able to play in front of the fans in the national final is truly something that we've wanted and something we very much look forward to play in front of all these people and hopefully give them what they want to see. We never took our foot off the gas and just kept going until the end. Obviously, there's so many games in such a short amount of time, and you have to be strong. You have to be willing to do the work every single day, and that's what we've been doing. So, yeah, I'm super, super proud of the team, and I couldn't have asked for more, really. And obviously, to the fans, we have one more to go. I hope they all show out and help support us, and then hopefully we can give them what they want to see. But at the end of the day, I'm super grateful for what we've accomplished so far, and now we have, one more to go. So I'm looking very much forward to it. Hopefully we can get the job done.
And as well, thanks to Oliver Moeller Jensen for chatting with us. Look, folks, it's the Rat's Nest. They get a little rowdy, they get a little bit loud, but they crank that level way up when the stakes are quite this high. Look, we got to come back to our pregame show a little bit, although I'd love to be on those guys forever. They're incredible down there in that corner. We mentioned leadership earlier on in the show, and headman Paul Doro here, he is just outstanding at the top. He's continued Flint's championship tradition, continues to bring them back to this promised land, guiding another talented squad this season through one of the toughest playoff paths throughout the league. You knew there was going to be a bunch of tough draws, and they've made it happen. We caught up with Coach Doro as well to discuss this team's postseason run, what it's like to host here at home, and how electric this place is going to be. Oh, we keep getting excited about it, and of course preparing for the biggest matchup of the season.
You can be the team that gets outplayed for 90 minutes and find a late goal winner, or you can be the team that outplays a team for 90 minutes and need that last second kind of effort to get across the line. So, we were the last 15 minutes, we made some changes, both personnel and a little bit to how we were defending, and it seemed to kind of turn the tides, and we had kind of our foot on the gas, and we were hoping we could find one before we got to overtime. And what a goal it was to end the game. It was, like I said, cruel for Ventura, who I thought played a really good game and was a really sound team. But it was beautiful for us, so we were happy to escape that in the, whatever it was, 97th minute or something crazy like that. I mean, when they win the ball, they're electric on the transition. So we're going to have to not just take care of the ball when we're in possession, but when and if those turnovers happens, we've got to be as responsive defensively to their attack. They haven't conceded a lot of goals either, so they're also hard to break down. And we're going to be working on some of those moments and some of those themes this week, as on both sides of the ball, both defending and where we think we might be able to find some success in the attack. Well, I know probably every franchise says this, but our fans are awesome, and they're the best in the league, in my opinion. So to be able to give them a game at Atwood in front of our home crowd is a reward for them and for their support and their loyalty all season. What they give to us is obviously, the cheers for our players and the support that you can feel it on the field. And I know every team that has an attendance of supporters at their home field, they feel it every game, whether it's regular season or playoffs. And, we're looking forward to having them back us. I mean, our ownership and our management is fantastic. So we've talked with the players about trying to give this to them for everything that they've done for the players. They take fantastic care of the players. They look after them. They don't just give them a great training environment. They give them a great environment to grow as a player, a person, a group, a team. They take really good care of them. So being able to reward our ownership and our management with the national title would be something special to these guys. And they feel that way too. But the other side of it is our boys really want it for themselves too. They've been a World Cup year where there's a lot of excitement about the game in general. And the game has really grown, and the support and the interest in the game has grown in Flint just since the time that we've been there, since I think 2019 is when we first moved there. and the community is behind this team. People who have never seen a game of soccer before have come out to our games and have been impressed, and it's very fan friendly. The young kids get to come down after the game and get autographs on the field, and they do a little halftime thing for the younger guys out on the pitch where they get to come out and run around. So it's a very family friendly environment. It's a very welcoming environment for the fans, and it's a great introduction to the sport if they've never seen a game before, but it also offers, the high level soccer that an avid fan can get behind as well.
Appreciate Coach for hopping in and having a chat with us. Now just 90 minutes stand between these two teams being crowned a national champion. There will only be one winner today. We cannot wait to see. But let's take a moment to flash back at last year's national championship run. Take a look.
At any time during the match, including halftime.
USL2 national championship between Valor FC and the Vermont Green. This is a moment very few of us have ever seen. This is a special moment for soccer and for Vermont. It is going to be a big one. These two teams are loaded with talent. They've both led their conferences, their divisions throughout the year, and a chance for Valor to make it 2 titles in 3 years, and a chance for Vermont Green to do something no one has done since 2010 and go perfect.
And the referee points to the spot. He rolls it off the post and in. And Vermont Green take the lead in the national championship at Virtue Field. And there he is, post to top once again. And Nate recovers it, curls it back in. Marshall puts it on, and Kilgo, the national championship goal scorer in NCAA, puts it in 2025. Vermont is the king of soccer. As the Vermont Green win their first ever USL2 title. And green is the color of victory once again in Burlington, Vermont.
That was a look at your 2025 USL League 2 national champions, Vermont Green FC. They're trying to defend that crown, come back today, and in 90 minutes be crowned the national champions back-to-back in the USL League 2. Only the Flint City Bucks stands in their way in 90 minutes of gameplay. We'll be right back after this quick break. Stay with us live at Atwood Stadium here in Flint, Michigan, exclusively on Sports Engine Play, presented by Venture HR.
Every day across the U.S. and around the globe, thousands of businesses
Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Great game footage starts with Vio. Now a
And we come back from the break once more. The USL League 2 National Final pregame show just about to wrap up. Tanner White and Alexis Ayala with you once more pitch side here from Atwood Stadium. So we are just feeling all of the electricity, all of the energy flowing in all of around us. Our fans still continue to pour in. We are told it's really, really close to a capacity crowd. Do you feel that? Is it looking that way to you?
It looks incredible here at the historic Atwood Stadium. There's been so much incredible history here, and today is just another day, a chapter written in the history books at Atwood Stadium as the fans fill the stands. It is absolutely iconic to see all of the umbrellas out dotting around the grandstands. We still have bounce houses up and at 'em around the venue where kids are jumping around, playing. They're not afraid to get a little wet and have a great time. It is so much energy, so much fun around here. The food trucks. There are so many incredible opportunities to enjoy this national championship game.
And what I'm hearing from you, too, it's incredibly family-friendly. You better bring the whole family, I tell you, if you're anywhere around here, if you're in the 810.
Yes.
Because this capacity, I got to come in and talk to some around the stadium and say, hey, what kind of crowd would we be looking at? They said, well, we could top about 11,000 if we truly get to standing room only on this place. And that just, it makes me quake in my boots. The last time that they won the national championship back here in 2019, that was about a 7,000 crowd, and they said, yeah, we can do way better than that for this evening. You continue to see all that kind of standing room only behind all the tents here down on our
and gentlemen. City of Flint, celebrating league.
From coast to coast, north to south, 89 days ago, 158 clubs began the 2026 USL League 2 season with one goal: to be the last team standing. Through a summer filled with unforgettable moments, championship performances, and post-season drama, only 2 teams remain. Tonight, it all comes down to this: the Flint City Bucks, Vermont Green FC. One match, one championship. It's the 2026 USL League 2 final, live on Sports in Play, presented by Ventura HR. My name's Jonathan Turner alongside Ryan Glinsky, and we want to welcome you here into our close to being that way. You've got a team in Vermont Green that was here last year. They're a newcomer of sorts, but they are an unbelievable team coached by Chris Taylor. On the flip side, you got a historic Flint City Bucks. They've been here 4 times before. They've won it 4 times. This is their 5th chance.
We are the brink of history here tonight. Vermont Green could be the first team ever to go back-to-back. This feels like it could be a passing of the torch. You think of the king of the 2010s, that was Flint City. Now the king of the 2020s, it could very well be Vermont Green, and they are a fantastic side, scoring goals for fun. But on the other side for Flint City, they defend like crazy. They know how to stop you from scoring, and as the old saying goes, defense wins you championships.
That they do as we get ready here for this matchup. Again, Ryan, I can't say enough about this. These 2 teams, phenomenal in their own right. And they are just about moments away from getting things underway. It's been a cloudy day and a rainy day of sorts here in Flint, Michigan. And we do apologize for the interruption.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one here tonight, John. You think about Vermont Green, 19 goals scored, just 1 given up this year. Flint City, they've had some dramatic moments. You think about the one against Ventura County here last Sunday, just 6 days ago, when Oliver Moeller Jensen was able to score the winner here in the final moments against Ventura County right here. And you think about Vermont Green, they've been here before. 7 years since the last time Flint City has been here. They've been on the doorstep time and time again. They are just moments. They are now 90 minutes away, potentially 120 and some PKs on their way to another national championship, and their 5th, a record 5th time.
No doubt about that, Ryan, as the fans continue to roll in here at Atwood Stadium. Just can't say enough about the environment. You've got the Rat's Nest off to our right. Vermont Green FC have traveled in all the way from Burlington to be here today. It's a championship game with a championship environment. And here we go. Vermont Green FC in their green kits going right to left on your screen. The Flint City Bucks, and they're all red going left to right. Alongside Ryan Glinsky, I'm Jonathan Turner. Alexi Ayala, the 3rd member of our team, will join us here throughout much of this match. This ball played up long up this near side. That's O'Neal. It'll make its way out of play, and a throw-in coming up.
Yeah, you think about this environment right now, John, that you mentioned, Flint City. It feels like they would have the upper hand in the first 15, 20 minutes. However, Vermont Green, they're a team that they know how to get onto you early. They've also had the tough task of going down to Laredo in Texas, and they passed that challenge with flying colors.
Ball skirts around. Ball skips into the box. Out will come Steve Clark, former MLS goalkeeper, 300 games in his history.
And he's been so good for Flint City so far this year, John. Big saves after big saves. You think about Ventura County, made some big saves there, along against Peoria. Seth Wilson on the other side for Vermont Green. Another fantastic goalkeeper as Vermont Green looks to get on the move again.
Tied up. That might be the first foul of the game as down goes Chase Foster.
Yeah, McHenry just lost it there. A little bit of a frustration. Don't think that's a yellow card here in the first minute and a half.
Brought up here by Bingo, also known as Bingo.
Yeah.
And
they need a big night from him tonight, John.
That they do. Flint City Bucks were 10-1-1 this season in the Great Lakes Division. Vermont Green in that Northeast. We're 13-0-1 as Carnival loses the ball. And here comes the marching band.
Yeah, rocking the press box right now, as they always do.
Foster will throw this in. Up that far side. Vermont Green on the move. This is a team that can score goals in buckets. Scored 64 goals during the regular season. They scored 19 so far here in the playoffs. Only conceding 1 goal, Ryan. I mean, they are a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, it's a much different season for Vermont Green in some ways, especially in the playoffs. Comeback victories, PK shootouts against Dothan a year ago, and then against, obviously, Ballard FC in the national championship game. This year, it's just been straight firepower after goal, 4-0, 4-0, and then, obviously, the infamous 7-1 against Laredo.
Miller will play one into the box. Now will skip into the hands of Steve Clark.
But we highlighted Bingo not too long ago, and he had the giveaway that kind of got that attack going so far for Vermont Green. They need a big night from him, along with Carnival as well. Jace Foster, of course, in Oakland Golden Grizzly. That's where Paul Doro coaches for the Oakland Golden Grizzlies, not too far from here in Flint.
Foster. He'll get it back, but back to Carnival and all the way back this back line of Flint City. Talked about it, Ryan. They've been here 5 times before. The last time was in 2019 when they hoisted that USL League 2 championship trophy. Here in front of 7,200 fans.
Yeah, it feels like they could get to that here tonight. This is a packed out crowd. Vermont Green brought in a nice crowd as well, all the way from Burlington, Vermont. But the fans up here are phenomenal. Flint always supporting their side, and let's see if they're the X factor in winning and taking Flint City into victory here tonight in the USL2 National Championship. It felt like they gave them a little bit of an edge in the last game as well.
What they did is Vermont with the ball at the back line. They'll work this up. 5 minutes in. You're watching the USL League 2 National Final on Sports Engine Play, presented by Venture HR. Good work to push that ball out wide now. Curling ball, back post. Foster will just flick it away. And out of play it will go.
Yeah, much better movement from Vermont Green right there. Both of these teams, their defensive press is set up really well. It's going to take something super special for both of these sides to break down the defensive press. You're seeing the motion from Vermont Green is quick passing, 1-touch, 2-touch, get it off your foot. In Flint City, they've had 2 clean sheets in the last 2 matches of the USL2 playoffs. And Vermont Green, a handful of clean sheets as well in the playoffs.
Drop back. McHenry. We'll get it back. And crowd continues to roll in here. At Atwood Stadium. Has a capacity of 11,000 fans. Now an opportunity up that far side. That's Jack Roman. Loses the ball and right back. Vermont, here they come. That's a tackle attempt there from Ollie Muller-Jensen, and should be talking to.
I think the only reason Muller-Jensen's not going to get a card here is because it's within 7 minutes of the game. But again, that stopped out a very nice attack. You had Xavi O'Neal wide open on this right in front of us on this left side. Again, it's more of a tactical foul, I would say, John, on what Muller-Jensen just did. I think he's very lucky not to come away with a yellow card there, at least a booking. But so far, you want to get Muller-Jensen involved if you're Flint City. He was quiet against Peoria, but he was able to find the back of the net. The goal that has Flint City here, brought him here. The Indiana Hoosier, now formerly from FAU. But so far we're seeing a typical cup final. Both of these teams just feeling each other out. It's important not to give away the ball or anything cheaply in the first 20, 25 minutes of the first half of a cup final. And so far we're seeing both teams being a little bit more defensive oriented. Don't want to risk anything quite yet. Ellis Jones all the way up into Aguna Biade. And this one will go straight into South Wilson, who made some phenomenal saves against Laredo back in the first half and the beginning of the second half. You go back to that Laredo game, Vermont Green, I feel like the momentum was going in Laredo's favor going into halftime, but that mentality for Vermont Green, as Coach Chris Taylor's been saying recently, it may look easy, but it is not easy at all. And he constantly praises the mentality of this Vermont team.
It's a good ball outside, up the far side. Comes Vermont Green. Oh, it's a good ball slotted in. Oh, and Clark bobbles it for a moment, but able to come up with it.
Yeah, that's something we haven't mentioned quite yet, John, is it's a slick surface out here. It's been raining for about over an hour. It's not been a full downpour, but it has been sprinkling for about over an hour. The playing surface is a little bit slick, so maybe some miscues on touches at the back and in the final third, but most importantly, the goalkeepers as well could always be there looking at Aguna Biade, who could easily pounce, and Francu could easily pounce on a bobble from the goalkeepers.
And we have our first introduction here of Lexi Ayala here with a hit here about Atwood Stadium.
Thanks, John. Yeah, every great championship deserves a great stage, and few venues have a story like Atwood Stadium. Since opening in 1929, these stands have welcomed presidents like Franklin D. Roosevelt, who spoke to thousands here. John F. Kennedy held campaign rallies. There's been countless championship teams here, concerts, community celebrations, and generations of Flint families. Long before tonight's players took the field, history was already being written here. Now the Bucks and Vermont Green have a chance to add one more unforgettable chapter to a stadium that's been part of this city's heartbeat for nearly a century.
Thank you, Lexi, and it's true. I mean, this is an unbelievable facility here at Atwood Stadium. We appreciate the input here from Lexi.
Missed Moeller Jensen initially, Ellis Jones, and you saw Carnival, who was tucked inside, yelling at Jones to find Moeller Jensen on this near side.
So throw in here from Foster. Looks to send it across. That's deflected out. So down by Zimeno. Zimeno did not start in that last game against Ventura County. Did come in the second half. Talk about substitutions from Paul Doro in that game. Jordy Lopez, Rich Ludwig coming in, as well as Shillington. And it was Kadua into Shillington that led to that game-winning goal in the 90th +7.
Yes, Emmanuel was phenomenal against Peoria. Also, when coming on, Flint City, they've got a luxury of midfielders that they can go to. Shillington, who's obviously on the bench here to start. Ludwig's on the bench as well. But that was a battle-tested game for Flint City against Ventura County. Moeller Jensen, just too far in front. But I guess the one knock that you could say, John, on Vermont Green, despite not, being in close games, do they know how to necessarily battle adversity? That's the one thing that you're thinking on Vermont Green. Do they know how to battle adversity? Do they know how to play down a goal, down 2 goals? Can they find just that extra bit of brilliance in the final third late in games to win it? That's the one knock you could say on Vermont Green on when they win every single game by an average of 5 goals in the playoffs.
It was a collision as Kadua feeling the pain, but back up on his feet.
I think he was just trying to get the referee's attention, John.
Ball goes out of play.
Yeah, Vermont Green, I think the narrative was, do they know how to play on the road? And they certainly silenced those critics last weekend in Laredo. They did not play a playoff game on the road for over a year up until they played against Laredo, or played in Laredo last weekend. And I think they know how to play in front of a packed-out crowd, a sold-out crowd on the road. Certainly, Virtue Field is a phenomenal fortress to have your home games as well.
A phenomenal fan base, drawing over 3,000 fans per game. That's to both men and women. You just can't say enough about what Vermont Green has been able to accomplish here in their short lifespan, and almost given away, and it was. It's great work. Zellenfro, and he'll put one in the box, and Zelfro has had a phenomenal playoffs, Ryan. We haven't had a chance to really talk about him so far, but he's got 7 goals and 4 assists on the season, with 4 goals, 3 assists in the playoffs. Had a hat trick against Laredo here last weekend.
Yeah, he's just a teenager too. That's the brilliant part for Zelfro. And Zelfro, he was on the bench, came on as a substitute a year ago against Ballard in the same exact game, and he knows how to play in these environments. And there's a handful of players, actually, that played at Virtue Field a year ago against Ballard. So they have the experience.
Kind of popped up just over midfield. It's McDade stepping into that one. And Carnival. Semeno. He's got Roman out wide. Ball will get it back. Going to be on it. Just outside the 18. Good defensive work and settled down by Zelfro.
Yeah, patient build-up from Vermont so far. Their best success has been out here on the flanks, whether they've been able to get it out to Francoux or O'Neill.
Haven't said much about Brandon Marshall, but man, he is an unbelievable defender. Brandon selected as the defensive player of the year for USL League 2 earlier this week, rightfully so. Helped lead this team to only 1 goal against in the playoffs.
Also started the final a year ago as well. Just a phenomenal player. Actually comes from North Carolina. A lot of these players from the East Coast on Vermont Green. And Brandon Marshall had tons of praise for his team earlier this week that you saw in the pregame show. But so far, the first 15, it feels like Vermont Green is the better team on Flint. Flint's had some miscues in the final third and on the offensive end. But it's that patient buildup that Vermont Green, they can almost lull you to sleep.
Look at this opportunity now into the 18. It's crossed over. There's a good idea there from Rosas, and still inside the 18 now by the byline, and that will make its way out of play.
Yeah, good defensive work there from Kadua just to shield him out. But Rosas on that far side, a little bit of trickery to get by the defenders, and so far it feels like Vermont Green just has an extra step on Flint City. It still feels like Flint City's a little half step or a step behind Vermont Green. They feel the most awake team here so far tonight. I think we're starting to see the effects of this defensive press from Vermont, that Flint City's now opting to just play it long.
So Clark will put this back in play. Their side, we have not yet really said a whole lot about Seth Wilson playing in goal here tonight for Vermont Green.
First yellow.
Yellow card was issued.
Yeah, Jack Roman, he had a booking as well against Peoria. Remember, Paul Doro had to sub him out with about 35 minutes into that game. It ultimately did not matter, knowing that Flint City was in firm control.
Settled down out wide and out of play it will go. So far in the going here, Ryan, both teams have had some spells of possession, but nothing really yet as far as opportunities created.
No, that's expected, though, in a cup final, John. I think we saw that also in the USLW final with Vermont Green in Salmon Bay. That's usually expected. Usually the best opportunities come from miscues like we saw there from Ellis Jones about 5 or 10 minutes ago. That's usually where you get your best chances early on in the game. Vermont Green has had a couple of half chances, you would say, but for Flint City, they have not tested at all the Vermont Green net and Seth Wilson. There's quality up top for them, but just haven't really tested and broke through.
Just on that far side, essentially now is Willard Jensen plays it behind Jack Roman.
Yeah, we're starting to see some frustration between Muller, Jensen, Carnival, Aguna Beata, and Jack Roman. They just haven't had the freedom that they've been having all season long, and especially in the playoffs. And so far, Vermont Green, they're kind of just being a boa constructor at the moment. Just getting it tighter and tighter. And eventually, they'll find their breakthrough. We've seen it so many times this year with them.
Marshall will play it back to Wilson. He's under pressure from Beata, and good work to get out of that pressure. Both these teams are used to playing in front of big crowds. Good work here is Tozak. Slots it. Oh, that's a good ball. Played back post. Now Rosas, he'll fire a shot that deflects and out for the first corner of the match.
Rosas wants a handball. I think it hit the leg there of McDade, but that was poor defending from Flint City. I mean, Tozak just ran 50 yards, 40 yards untouched. Got to mark up better for Flint City, but that was poor defending. No communication between the two. And Vermont Green, first corner, as you mentioned, just under 20 minutes ago. 20 minutes in.
So this ball off the corner. Again, the first corner of the match here for Vermont Green. Rosas will take it. Here it comes, curling in near post, headed away.
Yeah, good corner. Ellis Jones, the captain out there. Vermont Green, still an opportunity to serve it in. Headed away again by Jones. Brilliant header. Two phenomenal headers by the captain for Flint City. That should be
foul.
Flint crowd wanted a yellow card.
I don't know if it was quite worthy of a yellow card there,
No,
Ryan.
There was 2 or 3 green shirts behind the ball, so I don't think that is worthy of a yellow card.
I mean, you want this game to be wide open, right? You want there to be
but
physicality.
I don't think the teams do.
Well, you have to. At what point in the game you have to ask them that question, right?
At some point, I think you think about it late into halves, for end of first half, end of second half, is nearly a miscue all the way on the far side there by Trim Lindbergh. But for the neutral perspective, and I think from a fan perspective, you'd like it to be a little bit more open, a little bit end to end, but both of these teams are set up in ways where it's not really going to play that's not going to factor in yet.
Going to be Ada. He'll play it back. That's McDade.
Very few touches for Aguna Beade so far in the early going, John. Vermont Green has done a nice job just defending him. He drops down at times. He can beat you over the top as well. But how they're just making life difficult right now for Flint City. You can see every red shirt is marked up for the most part, besides out on the flanks with Roman and Muller Jensen. Really just suffocating the middle. And you saw it's a brilliant challenge.
Foster getting physical. Let him play. We're just talking about this, and now crowd here not happy.
Yeah, it was a physical battle there. I think what penalized Foster there was that he pushed off of Miller on the way in. That seems to be what it was. But can't say too much about how great this back line is of Vermont Green.
Yeah, a team that through 17 games allowed less than 1 goal a game. They only have 13 goals against through their 18 games. That's all defense. And a great offense as Tozak play it back, and this is cleared up towards midfield. Settle down. Right back to Flint it will go.
Really, I think if you're Flint, you've got to get Bingo, Carnival, and Semenyo going. Those three players could be match winners for you, as they have just been really dominating the midfield. That's how you can win games, is winning in the midfield. Said it time and time again. If you aren't familiar with the game of soccer, it's almost like the line of scrimmage in football. If you can dominate the line of scrimmage, you can dominate the midfield. You've got a very good chance of ultimately winning the game. And Flint and Vermont so far have very good ones, but at the moment, Vermont Green's midfield is winning it.
Flint City Bucks would like to thank Dr. Mark Knight and Knight Dental Care for being the official dental partner of the Flint City Bucks.
So back now to Lexi, and what do you got for us?
Well, one of the most fascinating stories in American soccer isn't just what Vermont Green FC has accomplished on the field, it's why the club exists. The founders didn't set out simply to build a winning soccer team. They asked a bigger question: can a soccer club help change the world?
Look at this chance now is Roman. He'll be taken down as Carnival will fire one up and over.
Yeah, they wanted a PK. I don't necessarily think, I think it's a great tackle, but that's the first bit of life that we saw. Aguna Piata getting in there with Roman. Don't think that's a PK. Great tackle there. And then just put it over the bar from Carnival on that delayed run.
And picking back up on that story, the founders asked, can a soccer club actually help change the world? That's why Vermont Green has made environmental justice part of its identity. They're working toward becoming a net zero emissions club by tracking and reducing their carbon footprint, encouraging fans to bike or carpool to matches, using a stadium powered by 100% renewable electricity, composting waste, and so much more. They also donate a percentage of annual sales to environmental nonprofits, because for Vermont Green, success isn't just measured by trophies, but also by the impact they leave on their community and the planet.
Yeah, it was a bad time to get your hit in, Lexi, but phenomenal story from Vermont Green. Both, it's a phenomenal story here. Had a chance to talk to their sporting director yesterday and talking about how he was sold on the mission, and Vermont Green just continues to grow, now having a women's club as well this year, inaugural season. They have been playing for a couple of years, just in exhibitions, but again, it's their women's side undefeated, made it all the way to the USLW championship, and then obviously their men's side, USL2 reigning national champions, and they're back in the same spot they were a year ago.
Now, you just can't say enough about this Vermont Green side, and had a chance yesterday to watch them train, and you had a chance to talk with one of their coaches, and again, just what they're building there in Vermont is just so impressive, and you have to applaud them on both their on and the off the field as this ball slotted in, that deflects out now second corner.
Yeah, I think it also helps too that Vermont, the University of Vermont, obviously won the national championship in Division I 2 seasons ago, and that was a phenomenal finish as well. And then they win the USL2 championship. Kissel gets the goal there to win it. And again, Vermont, it's starting to become a soccer destination. There's not many soccer destinations in this country yet. You think of Columbus as being with the U.S. men's national team, but you think about pre-professional, you think about Vermont.
So again, the second corner of the match coming up 26 minutes in. Ball well driven, that's headed away.
Same result, Ellis Jones wins it.
Back out to Rosas. It's a good ball in, and that was earmarked for McHenry. It's cleared away.
Flint City got lucky on that one, John. Brandon Marshall was wide open at the back post. He was calling for it. Don't necessarily know if they were able to see Brandon Marshall. He was calling for it, but Flint City, they haven't marked up particularly well at the back post so far tonight. They've been a little bit leaky at the back post at times this year, and even in the Ventura County game. But big-time missed opportunity for Vermont Green if they're able to find the head of Brandon Marshall, because he was wide open for a tap-in.
So throw in for Vermont Green. This ball might make its way out. It does not. Paiva all the way back now. Steve Clark.
Yeah, just being patient so far. Look at this press, marking up every single time. There's not much breathing room, not much airspace for either one of these sides. And you see there again, Vermont Green, they just win it. They win it so much. They play confident. It just feels like so far, the way this game is going, it feels like Flint City, the way they're going to score is off a set piece or a big-time mistake from Vermont.
USL League 2 final is presented by Venture HR. Venture HR, business just got easier. Learn more at venturehr.com. McHenry into Marshall. Up that far side. Played inside.
It's a brilliant tackle.
Oh, they're going to say foul. We're going to see maybe a yellow card. You are. So Maynard's going to get a yellow card.
I thought that was a clean tackle, John. I really did. Again, that's not a player you want to have a yellow card either. So far, two big cautions for Flint City in Zemenyo and Roman.
Ladies and gentlemen, that yellow card is brought to you by attorney Matthew Nolan, your criminal defense.
We'll have to see if we can get a look at it, but it looked clean from up here. It really did.
It did, and you said brilliant too. So I mean,
I thought it was a great tackle from Zemenyo. I really did. Referee clearly disagreed. That's why I'm not a referee, John.
So a free kick coming up here for Vermont Green. Taken by Rosas, who's taken all their set pieces. Ball comes in. Oh, for Marshall. They got back heel on it. Flag did go up, though.
Yeah, the second ball, always so dangerous.
Offside.
And I think if that one doesn't get a touch in on the way to Marshall, I think Marshall gets at least a clean touch on it. Right outside the 6, but again, so far, just the marking from Flint City hasn't been up to par yet.
The ball will pop up on that far side. See on that far side, you see the VIP tents here at Atwood Stadium. They're just overflowing on that far side.
Yes, they are.
They are packed.
Even in front of us as well, where our camera is packed as well, all the way around. Also up on the concourse behind the nets. Typically, you don't see that here.
Mark will roll it out. No foul call. Looks just like a throw. Oh, I guess they're going to say a foul. Didn't quite hear the whistle.
No, I didn't hear a whistle either. But again, John, just no room really.
Going to be out of.
Yeah, they're going to say Gunabiata just felt like it coming together there a little bit. But again, when you go through the back of somebody, that's typically always called. As he went through the back of Miller.
The near side here. Tozak. Trying to get past Foster. Good work from him. Just too much pace on that from Carnival, looking for Muller-Jensen.
Just sums up the night so far for Flint. Just miscue after miscue.
It's O'Neal. He's got 3 Flint City Bucks, and he'll skip it off. Muller-Jensen. Miller Jensen plays it up towards midfield, and
Muller Jensen, Roman, Agunabiada, they've been neutralized so far today. They've had to defend more times than they've had touches in the Vermont half and in the final third. I think that's where that frustration is starting to creep in, John. But again, we saw this defensive shape from Flint against Ventura. That's when the game kind of flipped in their favor. 2 at the top, Carnival, Agunabiada. Obviously, on that Sunday night in the semifinal, it was Jordy Lopez instead of Agunabiada. But that is where Flint, that's where they're going back to, that same defensive shape.
now here comes Vermont. Ball pushed out. Rosas, so that's skipped off of McDade and out of play for the third corner.
Yeah, that gamble from Jack Roman right in the midfield. He had to win that. He gambled for it. He didn't win that. That allows that open space, 10, 15 yards of untouched. And that is, you've got to win that if you're Jack Roman, because that just opened up a ton of space. And now Vermont Green, at their third corner, every time they've gone right around the top of the 6, Ellis Jones has won both times. See if they mix something up. It does look like there's some movement at the back post.
Ball comes in. It's long and headed away. So they're going to be got a head on it.
Should be a handball.
They wanted it, not going to get it. Miller, he'll curl one back in. That's going to go over everybody, not a play.
Yeah, that last set piece, you saw that Brandon Marshall, the center back, number 2, he started out at the top of the 18. They kind of set some picks and a curl around. I think Muller Jensen's offside. Here he is, but that's where they were looking to go. Looked like it may have hit the arm on that time on Connor Miller on the way in. Referees clearly disagreed.
Now Miller, he'll cut inside. Looking to slot. Does. That's almost put back across. Good work there by Francoux.
That was a brilliant diagonal run in behind from Francoux. Just cuts across the back of Paiva and Jones. No communication so far. The marking is not up to the Flint City standards, I would say, so far in the first 35 minutes, Sean.
No, is Vermont again. We're going to pull one back towards top of the 18. It's a good ball for Agunabiada. The far side. Cuts inside. Looking at pass Marshall. Settle it back. Roman now trying it down by the byline and go out.
That just sums up the attack for so far from Flint City. They had a 4v7 on that time. Vermont Green so quick to come back. Brandon Marshall did a phenomenal job of defending it there on Carnival. But again, it just feels like it's just booted up to Agunabiada and just unable to find any help and some reinforcements. It almost feels like he's got to be solo and have a solo run here and be brilliant all by himself. But there's a little bit of a disconnect between the forwards of Flint, the midfield, and the defenders.
36 minutes, getting towards the business end of this first half. You're watching the USL League 2 National Final on Sports Engine Play. Flint City Bucks hosting Vermont Green SC. John Turner alongside Ryan Glinsky. Happy to have you watching wherever you're watching here from around the world. O'Neal tries to get that double team. He does.
Brilliant.
Try to lay it off. Back in, that's cleared away by Jones.
Yeah, poor defending from Flint City yet again, but Chavi O'Neal, brilliant bit of skill to split 2 defenders. But as I say it again, I thought maybe the first 15, 20 minutes, it feels like Flint City just needs maybe a little bit of a wake-up call at the moment. They need a little bit of a spark on the offensive side, but it just, all the momentum is in Vermont's favor right now. They're playing so confidently, 4 across the back line of Flint City. And it just feels like their only chances to break through are just on these little counterattacks. But again, Vermont's so good at just tracking back and defending.
Semeno. Muller Jensen. To the 5-hole. Looking to go through space for Semeno. It's Francouz. That was really the first opportunity for Flint.
Yeah, they've had very few. I was going to wait to see what would happen on that play, but just to mention, that felt like the first time, John, that was the first time the Flint City fans really got into it. It felt like they've been on their hands for the most part of this first half. Unless maybe they can create something here.
So up that far side, and they wanted the foul. They're not going to get it as McDade took a spill.
The Flint City fans, they're getting restless. They're getting frustrated. The refs so far have been, I would say, on the Vermont side, but I think they're so far good calls from the referee all around. But just not much to cheer about on the offensive side for Flint. And that's kudos to Coach Chris Taylor and the way he set up his team.
All played back.
Just feels like one midfielder every time for Flint City just doesn't have the right mark on a green shirt for Vermont. And that just allows Vermont to just play freely and switch the ball just like this.
Again, playing it back. Rosas. Going to feather one in. He does towards that back post. Ed O'Neill was there. He'll end up collecting it here on the near side.
Look at Jack Roman defending all the way over here. Essentially playing as a right back.
Right back in the box, and that's headed away. Vermont controlling much of this first half.
If we had possession numbers, you'd say it's probably what? 80-20, 75-25?
I don't have those numbers, but it's pretty close.
That's why I said if we had the possession numbers.
65-35, but yeah, for sure. But we talked with Paul Dorr before this game, and we talked about the fact that, ultimately, this kind of a game is a chess match. And, hey, you might sit around and kind of see what they're going to do and change your formation, change your tactics. We haven't seen that yet in this first half. We've seen Jack Roman obviously shift to this near side. But what we might see, in the second half from a substitution, from a formation change to give them Flint City Bucks better chance of getting forward.
Yeah, the only change they've made is flipping Roman and Muller Jensen, as you just highlighted there. Vermont, really not many changes that I can see so far that they've made. Maybe they do bring in an extra defender, one of their outside backs that tend to tuck in at times to add that extra number in midfield. But other than that, they've really just played their game. And you think about the longer this goes on, is I think Semeno might be down here for Flint. Looks like he's up and moving. But Semeno just, maybe he's carrying a little bit of a knock at the moment. He did feel a little bit slow, not quite up to his speed on that last chance that Flint had, which was about 5 minutes ago.
McHenry. Rosas. Vermont just taking their time, patiently building here. Long ball up that far side. Skips to Rosas. And remember, the turf is wet from the rain that came through here the last couple hours.
Looks like it's dying off, though, for the last 15 minutes.
And you would think that might be a yellow card.
Don't think he's going to give it. Maybe he will.
Talking to. Stop the promising attack.
eFootball is here.
And obviously that Muller-Jensen goal, as Muller-Jensen was fouled, the one against Ventura County, everyone loved what the referee did on that one, playing advantage. Such a tough thing to do, and when to play advantage and not to play advantage.
No question about that. We saw what happened last week with advantage, right? And you know, again, the referee and Jason Cross had the whistle in his mouth.
Yes, he did.
And he watched that play develop and was patient with it, and ultimately that led, you know, to the game-deciding goal in favor of Flint City. And you know, we posted that video on social media. They got over 1 million views in social media land, and a lot of the comments coming through were in regards to the referee and the brilliance in that moment. And so kudos to the referee for that. And well, I guess not a lot of times you get to say that, can you, Ryan?
Yeah, no, you can't. He did a phenomenal job that day. I think so far the referee here today has been great. And just a couple maybe iffy calls. Maybe you'd like to see that one not called, and maybe you let them play. But, I mean, so far it's been a great job by both referees, or by all 4 referees.
We thank them for their generous support.
So Roman now up this near side. Looking for Roman again, and this will make its way out of play.
Yeah, at what point do you think maybe Flint City, just in some frustration, just lets one rip from outside the 18? Still no shot on target at all for Flint here today. Vermont, they've had a couple of chances. I don't think they've had an exact shot on target recorded, but just a couple of blocks, some really good chances so far from Vermont as we get to the waning moments here of this first half. But Vermont playing confidently. They almost just lull you to sleep at Franco. But we've seen it. All of Vermont's best attacks so far have come from putting the ball out wide, getting it to O'Neill or Rosas, and just creating something, trying to create some havoc in the box, get the ball bouncing, try to create something. But that's where their best attacks have been, and the flanks have been open many, many times so far tonight. And I think if you're Paul Doro, you're probably happy with the ball being pushed out wide so many times rather than going through the middle.
Absolutely, Ryan.
For your safety and safety ball players,
45th minute, we'll see what stoppage time. I don't imagine we'll see a ton.
2 minutes max, maybe 1. We did have a couple of fouls, but I would imagine it's 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee has indicated 1 minute of added time.
Yeah, just the 1 minute as the public address announcer announces here at Atwood.
Ball makes its way out. This is everyone we expected to be, Ryan?
I would say probably from a neutral perspective, you like to see a couple more chances, but it's a cup final. This is expected, I would say, just each team not taking any risk quite yet in the first half. I think you'll see both teams start to push some numbers forward in the second half, but I think if you can get to 0-0 in the first or after the first half, I think you're happy with it.
Ball played inside. Looking for Gunabiata. Out comes Wilson, and he'll smother that one up. And that will, in fact, wrap up this first half.
Yeah, like I just mentioned, I think that's a typical cup final, John. It's just feeling each other out, still 0-0. No real clear-cut chance yet from either side. But Vermont Green, they look like the better side. They're the more confident side. They look like they're the team that's going to go after it in the second half and get the goal. But Flint City, they've got a lot of answers that they've got to figure out.
That they do. It's 0-0. We played 45 minutes to go. You're watching the USL League 2 National Final, presented by Venture HR on Sports Engine Play.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals. We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Every day across the U.S. and around the globe, thousands of businesses rely on Venture to keep their operations humming. From payroll and benefits to technology platforms, HR support, and talent solutions, over 3 million employees and their businesses trust Venture will be there for them day in and day out. Venture HR supports every step from hire to retire.
The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why.
Yeah, trick. I said what I said. I don't care. I paint the town red.
If you can survive this, it's going to make the whole story that much better.
The bright horses have broken free from the fields.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kind of everything.
This spring, stay 3 nights and get a $50 Best Western gift card.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
USL Youth is where the journey begins. Each summer, USL Youth creates a competitive playing environment that complements the existing calendar, offering meaningful games, opportunities to play unique competition, and a great alternative to traditional preseason tournaments, all tied in to a national final. The summer programming is built for players from U10 through U19, designed to elevate player development and connect clubs to something bigger. USL Youth brings together the experiences, moments, and relationships that shape a player's journey, meeting every participant where they are and fueling the reasons why they play. This is USL Youth. This is why.
Welcome back to the USL League 2 National Championship game. It's Vermont Green FC at the Flint City Bucks. It's been an incredible first half of action so far, and in just about that 45th minute, we saw two challenges, both the Flint City Bucks goalkeeper Steve Clark and Vermont Green's goalkeeper Seth Wilson having to really get on the ground for it, make it happen. What did you like about those moments?
So it's going to give you a mild arrhythmia if you're a coach watching that on sideline, or if you're a fan watching 40-year-old Steve Clark throwing his body around like that. But I'm telling you, an MLS experienced keeper, an MLS veteran, and the guy kind of could roll out of bed at any time and play some really high-level goalkeeper. He's been showing that in just those last couple of challenges. That last one into the 45th minute, too. Really a crucial time to have it. Seth Wilson on the other side, a 24-year-old gentleman. Tough to miss him. He stands about 6'5" and covers a ton of space there in the frame. And you feel it, too. I felt it on that last challenge as he sprawled out, just covered a lot of ground, could leap several yards. And I tell you, both keepers have the confident aura that they carry themselves with between those posts.
Seth Wilson hasn't had a ton of action so far in goal in that first half of action. However, Steve Clark, he's had to get on top of it multiple times today. But with that being said, how can the Flint City Bucks free up Muller Jensen a little bit more in that second half?
Yeah, it's been tough for both top target men. Of course, we know Jeremy Franku coming in. He was the leading scorer in USL League 2 this season. We didn't get to highlight it enough in the pregame show. That's how much we had to talk about with this Vermont club and all the other gaudy numbers. But 18 scores for him on the year. And Franku, he's getting doubled often. When you're double marked, you've just got to simply find one of those quote-unquote other guys. That's very much strong quotations, right? Because nobody is the other guy around here. Ryan Zelafro he could wind up a target here. He's a double-digit scorer on this season for Vermont. Flint City, Jack Roman is a great option. Roman and Agunbiade and anybody throughout that midfield could shake loose too among an attacking midfield that's outstanding for Flint. It's really tough to say that the first goal still doesn't win this one because of the way that each of these defenses has held up to this point. Tremendously tight.
Tanner, what can the role players do to impose their will a bit more often?
There's probably room for that ratcheted up physicality. I expect a couple more tough challenges. We had one yellow card shown to Carles Semenyo. That was around the 29th minute for Flint. That's all well and good. I could see some more ire being drawn from both sides of the crowd here, the home and away sides, if there's some more tough challenges, some tough tackles. But I think a few of those can really turn that feel. When you've taken the physical edge, there's so often an edge on the scoreboard that's soon to follow.
And Vermont has stayed on the attack pretty well in that first half, but they haven't been able to convert in transition. How can they do a better job of that come the second?
Transition's tough. You got to have your guys in the right spots. Sometimes the ball will frankly find you. I think Franku is one of those guys who he has been fortunate on the season to just have tremendous chances find him, and then he finds the back of the net most often. I think 110% effort, digging deeper in that tank when you are just out of gas. You've got to find it somewhere. Hit that final stride, hit that final gear, and take one home, and that could just wrap this whole thing up, that first goal wins mentality.
Tanner, appreciate you tons. Thank you to everyone who's joining us for the 2026 USL League 2 National Championship game. That was a little bit of our halftime segment. We can't wait to toss it back up to the guys in the booth, John and Ryan, to take away some stats. Stay with us.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Every day across the U.S. and around the globe, thousands of businesses rely on Venture to keep their operations humming. From payroll and benefits to technology platforms, HR support, and talent solutions, over 3 million employees and their businesses, Trust Venture will be there for them day in and day out. Venture HR supports every step, from hire to retire.
The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why.
Yeah, trick. I said what I said. I don't care. I paint the town red.
If you can survive this, it's going to make the whole story that much better.
The bright horses are broken free from the fields.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything.
This spring, stay 3 nights and get a $50 Best Western gift card.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
USL Youth is where the journey begins. Each summer, USL Youth creates a competitive playing environment that complements the existing calendar, offering meaningful games, opportunities to play unique competition, and a great alternative to traditional preseason tournaments, all tied in to a national final. The summer programming is built for players from U10 through U19, designed to elevate player development and connect clubs to something bigger. USL Youth brings together the experiences, moments, and relationships that shape a player's journey, meeting every participant where they are and fueling the reasons why they play. This is USL Youth. This is why.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Every day across the U.S. and around the globe, thousands of businesses rely on Venture to keep their operations humming. From payroll and benefits to technology platforms, HR support, and talent solutions, over 3 million employees and their businesses, Trust Venture will be there for them day in and day out. Venture HR supports every step, from hire to retire.
Welcome back into Atwood Stadium here as we get ready for the second half of this USL League 2 National Final. Flint City Bucks and Vermont Green. This is all presented by Venture HR. Jonathan Turner alongside Ryan Glinsky will be your tour guides here for this second half. And Ryan, man, I don't know what we're going to see as far as changes here in this second half, but it was a overall good first half here for both teams?
Yeah, I think you are going to see for the Flint City side, Lopez come on, Shillington come on, Ludwig come on. For Vermont Green, it's a different story. They do have a handful of minute restrictions with the college coaches. I know that is a big thing when it comes to late in the USL2 season. But as it goes for the second half, I expect it to be the first 15 minutes, be a little bit of the same of the first half. But eventually, as we get closer and closer to the 90, I think you're going to start to see things open up. And I think if you're Flint City, you're probably the happiest with it being 0-0 at the moment.
No question about that. As again, moments away from getting this second half here underway. Listen to that crowd.
Go Swag Surf.
And here we go, officially underway here with the second half. Flint City Bucks, and they're all red now, going right to left on your screen. Vermont Green FC in their green kits. Going left to right. Jonathan Turner alongside Ryan Glinsky, Alexi Ayala, the third member of our team. Happy to have you watching here on Sports Engine Play.
Yeah, just worth mentioning, Moeller, Jensen, and Roman still stay on the way that they ended the first half. Moeller, Jensen out here on the left, Jack Roman out on the right. They both started out on the vice versa. Roman was on the left, Moeller, Jensen on the right. But they need to get those two going if you're Flint City. They've been held in check so far. Props to Vermont Green, but you can already see the numbers they have pushed forward at the moment. 3 players forward. That's going to drag down Zemenyo and now Bingo as well. So again, attacking, it's still going to be a little bit difficult for Flint City to get going on the offensive end if they continue to play like that.
And we talked with, obviously, with Paul Dorr. We heard obviously from Chris Taylor. And, we talked about this, and Paul talked about in his interview about how this game, 90 minutes, you could be the best team on the field and still lose. You could be and that's really the case, right? We've seen that time and time again as this ball skips over there, and that's Tozak. Foster will go down. But it's true. I mean, that's the beautiful part about this game is that you can be for 90 minutes the team that's not the strongest and maybe not the most talented on that day, but find a way to be scrappy in a playoff game and get that one goal that leads you to victory. And so it's one of the great things about soccer is one of the things that you probably hate about it as well, right? Because you're like, wait, this team is so much better than the other team. But it's really cool to see both these teams fighting here in this national final.
Yeah, soccer is one of those weird sports, John, it's almost like hockey where you can have so many chances, so much possession, so much time, have the puck or the ball in the offensive third, or the final third if you're in Vermont's case, and you might still be able to lose. We've seen it time and time again on the biggest stage, even in the USL2 stage, all the way up to the highest stage of professional soccer around this world. So that is definitely a case, and I think if you're Flint City, if you're Flint City, you're happy with it being 0-0, I would give the nod to the first half to Vermont Green. But again, they do have some minute restrictions. We'll see how they manage it, and Chris Taylor manages this second half. There's a heavy touch by Bingo.
Now make his way out of play.
But just that final touch, John, for Flint City, just not there tonight so far.
Settled down by Rosas. Plays it inside for Miller and dispossessed, but one right back to Vermont Green, and here they come. Looking to go out wide, they do. Down by the byline, trying to cut it back across. Slotted into the 6. That's cleared away.
Brilliant last-ditch defending from McDade. But again, the same thing we saw in the first half, John. Get the ball out to O'Neal on the left side. Create something. Get the ball in. We see that same story yet again.
All played back. Good switch to the near side is Marshall.
But we've seen the defensive shape from Flint City change. It's more of a 4-2-3-1. They had 2 at the top in Agunabiade and Carnival. It's now just been Agunabiade all by himself.
Steve Clark will see that into his hands. And our very own Alexi Ayala had a chance to talk with both coaches here at the end of the first half.
Flint City's head coach Paul Doro talked about how he wanted to change.
Look at this chance, so real quick, Lexi. I just
every time.
every time. Go ahead. Sorry.
All good. Flint City's head coach Paul Doro said he wants to change the shape of the midfield area a bit more. He didn't like the matchup that they were seeing in the first half at the mid. He also felt like they didn't have enough numbers in transition, but he said it's a matter of time for Muller Jensen to get freed up and make a play. As for Vermont Green's head coach Chris Taylor, he talked about how they're passing a little bit too early in that first half, and they also need a couple more passes once they do, and to switch the play more often. He feels like they're staying on the same side of the field. He also said it's just a matter of time for Franku.
Thank you very much, Lexi, as that corner is cleared away.
But that's exactly what we mentioned in the first half, John, in regards to Flint City. Just the midfield getting dominated.
Rosas. Little feather one back post. Makes its way to O'Neal. He'll settle down. He'll fire one towards that near post, and Steve Clark covers it up.
Best chance so far tonight for either side, really. Took about 50 minutes, but O'Neal, he's been so active on that left side, cutting in on his right foot, beating defenders at times. And again, brilliant job yet again by O'Neal.
Played inside. Kadua.
But I do like the two players we got to look for, Franku and Muller Jensen.
McDade into Zameno. We'll play it back. Go ahead.
And both of those players, Franku, Muller Jensen, leads their teams in scoring. Typically, we see Muller Jensen get going when he creates a couple of chances, when he cuts inside on a right or left foot and rips a shot. That typically gets his confidence going.
And now Foster tracks it down. Padua. Out of Muller Jensen here on the near side. Some space here in the midfield now for Flint City. Out wide to Foster. Foster try to curl one in. Zameno just can't get a touch on it, at least a clean touch. And now here comes Vermont Green. On the counter attack. That's a great ball inside. The flag did go up, though.
That was a brilliant run from Franku. You saw him just hesitate just a little bit, and then he curled that run at the end just a little bit too far in front, and Franku was offsides. But that was brilliant work. Again, Vermont making stuff happen with just two attackers. They were outnumbered there 2v4, but Flint City, the marking just has not been there at all tonight, and we saw another example of it right there.
It was a collision, and we're going to see a yellow card come out now. First one of the game for Vermont Green.
I think that's O'Neal as well.
As Ellis Jones took one to the face, it looked like.
Yeah, I think it's O'Neal. Yeah, ball just bouncing. No, it's not O'Neal.
Yellow card issued in the 53rd minute to Vermont Green, number 31, Samson Todd. That yellow card is brought to you by...
I think some people might say Jones was selling it just a little bit, but again, he's going to have to get checked out by the trainers. Concussion protocols, obviously that's been cracked down in the sport of soccer all across the world. Is that just being something in place? Is checking for head injuries.
So we're going to see, obviously, a free kick coming up here for Flint City. First yellow card of the match for Vermont Green. We've seen 2 already for Flint, so 3 in total here this evening. Again, that's kind of been like what we've seen all season long.
Yeah, just haven't seen the superstars really come out for either side yet, but all it takes is one kick of the ball. Any little moment of brilliance. How many times have we seen that? Many times. I mean, really just all the all the main attackers that we've highlighted in the pregame just haven't really had anything yet.
Beata finds do it now. Foster. Starting to see this field spread out a little bit more here for Flint City. These last couple of moments as Foster trying to get down there in the corner. He'll go down.
Yeah, I think it's good defending from the USL2 Defender of the Year, Brandon Marshall. Just able to shield it out just in time, but you're right. We're starting to see Flint City be able to switch the ball time and time again. Excuse me, my correction there on Tozak. Great defensive work from him, but you're seeing Flint City be able to get the ball, be able to switch it at times a little bit quicker. The game is starting to open up just a little bit. But again, I thought 15 minutes is when you'd start to see stuff open up.
So free kick coming up here for Vermont Green. That would make a foul from here. We are about 70 yards away, though, Ryan.
Yes. I think it's worth mentioning that Vermont Green, them being able to go to Laredo last week and come out with 2 fantastic victories, winning 11-1 on aggregate in those 2 matches. They have silenced this Flint City crowd here tonight. There really has not been much to cheer for if you're Flint City and their fans.
Rosas. They'll try to curl one in the box. That's a great header and getting it out for a corner kick from Ellis Jones.
Yeah, last-ditch defending yet again from Ellis Jones. That's a good ball, a good curling ball in. You'd like to see it cleaned up a little bit more, but Ellis Jones, he's picked up the slack at times for Flint City here tonight on the defensive side.
5th corner of the night here for Vermont Green. Well-driven ball. That's headed away again. That was Ameno. They got a head on it. That shot. Pata, and that will skip out of play.
Yeah, good block there from Paiva, just getting a body in front. That can frustrate Vermont Green at times, of just getting bodies in front of shots. But as much as we've praised Vermont Green, just that creativity really has not been there in the final third. It's been a lot of just crosses into the box. We've seen a couple of times with Francoux making those late diagonal runs. Maybe you'd like to see some build up, some connections, a little 1-2s just outside the 18 to break down Flint. That's the most important thing for Flint City. They defend very well. You want to get them out. You want to get them off of their spots. And we've seen it with Paiva and Jones. You want to drag them out of position just a little bit so you can create that half yard of space or so to get a clean shot on net and try to beat Steve Clark, who's been phenomenal this year for Flint.
Another corner kick here for Vermont Green. 6-0 in favor of corners here in favor of Vermont.
Never heard that for corners, John.
I don't know if I've ever had to say it before.
2 potential late runners here from Vermont, unmarked at the moment.
Taking their time. Ball bended in toward that back post. Clark goes up through traffic.
Brilliant.
Comes up with it.
Yeah, brilliant from Steve Clark, able to catch it at its highest point. Brandon Marshall was lurking. Almost caught like a wide receiver.
Going to be out of now. Take another look at it there as Clark is foul call. Offside is the call. We do have another message here, this time from Lexi. What do you got for us?
Thanks, Jonathan. Yeah, you guys brought up Steve Clark a few times. Flint City goalkeeper Steve Clark. Tonight's about a lot more than just another championship. 20 years ago, Clark helped this organization win their first national title, a journey that launched a professional career that spanned nearly 300 MLS games, as he's seeing some action right now in the box.
That's a shot far post. Might have been a cross, but it almost makes its way. It seems like every time Lexi hops on the mic there, Ryan, it seems like there's a goal-scoring opportunity for Vermont Green.
I was never a big fan of hydration breaks, but I feel with having Lexi with us here today, we needed some hydration breaks here today and implemented.
I'm bringing the action. But yeah, anyway, Steve Clark, after he won a championship here in 2006, went on to the MLS, nearly 2 decades in professional soccer. And after retiring in 2024, he thought the chapter was closed. But when the Bucks called, he wanted to come home, bring it back to a full circle moment. He says the best part is being able to have his daughter get to watch him play.
Very nice feel-good story.
It is, right? I mean, you talk about it, right? You could argue that there's not another better goalkeeper in the league right now. A former MLS goalkeeper. He's 40 years old.
Age is just a number.
It is just a number. As a shot that goes wide. It's true.
And goalkeeping is one of those positions. I would argue Angel Hernandez was on par with Steve Clark, what we saw last week and what we've seen throughout the season. But goalkeeping is one of those positions where you can play a lot longer than as an outfield player, as we're starting to see a couple of substitutions be made here for Flint City. It does look like Shillington and Lopez are going to come on, but you can play goalkeeper and play it at a high level up until you're just about 40 years old. I think this was the expected substitutions as well from Flint City.
Flint City substitution.
So it looks like Lopez is coming in. We're going to be out and Shillington is coming in for Zimeno.
Yeah, I don't know if Zimeno was carrying a little bit of a knock or so, but we saw him a little bit slower in the first half than we typically see him. Shillington obviously is a player that has started games this year, has created impact. Jordy Lopez, he's going to create a little bit more physicality, I would say, for Flint City going forward.
Rosas gets it back across. Alice Jones has gotten the end of that, and he gets away to that far side.
John, I don't know if Flint City can defend like this for another 30 minutes, and if we were to somehow get to extra time as well, staying at 0-0, I don't know if they'll be able to defend like this for another 60 minutes. It's just wave after wave after wave from Vermont. Eventually, their quality is going to just creep through.
On the flip side of that, too, if you're Vermont, you also have to be careful because you've been very dominant in the possession in this game and created a multitude of opportunities. You just haven't executed in the final third yet, and what you don't want to have happen is you put all this pressure forward, and then give an opportunity in the counterattack for Flint. It's a good opportunity here into the box, and Kadua now has it and gives it away. Lindbergh. Now Rosas. He'll bend one back. Post, and it goes in! Vermont Green take a 1-0 lead on the own goal.
I think Paiva was the one who got the touch on there. But Flint City, they defended so well. And to let up a goal like that, that's disastrous. But a brilliant ball in. No one was even there at all for Vermont. I don't think Steve Clark was in a position where he could come out and catch it. But a big miscue in Vermont Green, just wave after wave. They continue to find a way, and they finally get their breakthrough here tonight.
Rosas is the one that curled this one in, and it off of Ellis Jones.
And Ellis Jones has been so good here tonight. He's been the captain for just about 2 years. He's been fantastic tonight, and that's the player that you at least expect to make a chance like that. But again, Vermont Green, wave after wave, eventually they're going to find their way through, and they get it done here. Wasn't the prettiest of ways to go in the back of the net, but it all counts the same.
You know, we talk about it all the time, Ryan. It doesn't matter as long as it goes across to that goal line, right? And when you've created these chances time and time again. They have not had a lot of chances that have been on goal, but they have put pressure on that back line. And when you do that, it creates chances like that, and it creates miscues of what you saw there from Ellis Jones. And Vermont right now has a 1-0 lead and are 27 minutes from back-to-back national champions.
John, there was no one within 5 yards of Paiva or Ellis Jones, just a massive miscue. And if you're Vermont, or if you're Flint City, who's been defending so well tonight, that is a big, what's the word I'm looking for here? Letdown. That's the word I was looking for.
Ball comes in off that free kick. Headed back across! And Flint City
equalize in the 64th.
From 0 to hero, Ellis Jones, who's going to get the assist. And the center backs, that's not necessarily the two that you're going to see link up for a goal. But center back to center back, Ellis Jones, it gets lofted in. Paiva, we talked about Flint City unable to mark. Vermont Green, that's the first time they've really had to mark. They didn't mark well. Free header at the back post. Paiva puts it in, and it's 1-1, and finally this Flint City crowd can get on their feet.
Just can't say enough about this ball that comes in. And Paiva, like a laser focused, just puts that in the back of the net.
Yeah, and you talked about it. How many times Vermont Green has been attacking? They've been on the forward front. And then you think that's the first time they've really had to defend tonight. And they let up a goal like that. And now you start to feel this Flint City crowd and the Flint City Bucks get a little bit of momentum.
In the 65th minute.
But now it's truly game on.
We were scoreless through 63. We've seen 2 goals happen here in less than 2 minutes.
I said it was about 15 minutes before this game to really start to open up. We see it now, 2 goals. And now it's 1-1.
I was actually kept. No, they're going to say it went out. It looked like almost being kept in there by Rosas. Yeah, you talk about that play, and again, Paiva. I mean, you saw both center backs involved in the own goal here. A minute and a half before that goal was scored, Ryan, they get involved on that free kick. And talk about redemption.
Yeah, you're right, and now it's important for both of these teams to get level-headed again. Vermont Green got the absolute gift. They've had so many chances. They're just unable to find the back of the net. And then Flint City, with their first shot on target tonight, finds the back of the net. Everything's opened up, and now the crowd is going to start to grow into it a little bit, John.
Crowd is starting to get into it.
And this is a point of the match where I mentioned in the first half, no real adversity this year for Vermont Green. How do they battle adversity? This is their first real test of adversity. Let's see if they can pass it.
That far side. Oh, it's Jones. That's a great defensive move there by Foster.
Vermont is screaming for a PK. They thought it's a handball, but I don't think there's a handball in on it. It looked like the left arm there was on the side and close to the Flint City defender.
They call that the support arm, Ryan. we saw that in U.S. Open, U.S. Men's National Team game, the infamous handling on the ball.
Oh, yeah. Don't remind the U.S. Men's National Team fans about that.
Another corner kick. This is number 8 here. This one's curled in, and it will be last touched off Flint. Corner number 9 coming up.
Yeah, let's see how Vermont can handle this adversity.
We were here yesterday, Ryan, right? We were here, and we watched them train. They were warming up and doing corner kick set pieces here on this side of the field. I watched them for a half hour doing corner kicks. And this is their now 9th attempt as it goes right into the hands of Steve Clark.
Yeah, brilliant again from Steve Clark. And you're right, set pieces, they can win you games, and especially in a cup final like this where things are a little bit tight. Set pieces can be the difference. We saw it right there for Flint City. That's how they got back in the game, was on a set piece. And now Vermont Green starting to get back into their normal, regular scheduled programming. Take control of this game. Have all the possession.
Settle down. Kadua. Collision. Nothing there. Fans want it. They're not going to get it. Good ball. Lindbergh down by the end line. Can't get there in time.
Yeah, Vermont still looking to go out to the flanks. They really haven't decided to go down the middle. Both of these teams have really just made the opposing team try to beat them out on the flanks, get the ball wide, cross the ball in.
Look at this chance now as Lopez
Almost a recipient of a well-timed header there by Muller-Jensen.
It's worth mentioning that is only the second goal Vermont Green has given up in these playoffs.
Yeah, if you're Paiva, you gotta get a signature on that ball. It's a premium. This is not a team that lets a lot of goals in.
And then you also think if you're Flint City, you've got to make it pay. Got to make it count.
That you do.
Again, I still feel that 70 minutes in, Flint City is probably the happier of the two sides. Still 1-1 game.
Carnival, he'll cut inside. Looks to switch, but gave it right back to Vermont.
Yeah, Jace Foster, that's not going to go down as anything in the stat book, but that's important defending. If he doesn't at least get a touch on the ball, that is a breakaway going the other way for Vermont.
Looking over the top for Lopez. He'll settle it down, but just can't bring it under control.
Starting to feel a little bit of momentum building for Flint.
It was McDade gets tripped up. He collides with Lindbergh, but
I think that just
I think he was just trying to get the edge. He just couldn't get there, and it just got collided with.
I think it's just a coming together. I think that's a good no call by the referee. I mean, it's unfortunate for both players, but I think that is the correct call. I know Flint City probably feels that they haven't gotten the majority of the whistle, but again, I think the referees here today have been very spot on. A couple maybe iffy 50-50 calls, but so far, so good. But yeah, we're starting to see the shape look a little bit more like it was on Sunday against Ventura County. You see Muller-Jensen cheating up just a little bit. It's going to be important for Vermont Green to maneuver this.
72nd minute. If you're just joining us, again, it was scoreless through 63 minutes. And the 63rd minute, an own goal. Off the foot of Ellis Jones gave Vermont and Green FC a 1-0 lead, and then just 2 minutes later, off the head of Paiva, Flint City equalized. This game's one apiece.
Yeah, starting to see Flint City overload on the flanks. That's going to create some chances in the middle like this.
Ball's played back, now out wide. Rosas. Moving right back to Carnival in the box.
Yeah, that's just been the issue so far tonight for Flint, is when they just have that little moment, that little half second where you think they could get through. It's just been, that time it's Jordy Lopez, but before that it was Aguna Biade, just all by themselves. They need to be up a little bit more cohesive like Vermont has been building. But again, you can see their confidence right now. 5 players on the toes of the back line of Flint.
Rosas inside. Zelfro, now Miller, and all the way out to that far side. Trying to cut. Great work there by Foster.
Yeah, Foster's had his handfuls today. O'Neal initially, and Pida there.
We're going to send us now to Alexi Ayala. He's got another one for us.
Yeah, I was on the sidelines roaming behind the benches after the goals that were scored. Even with Flint City Bucks having the own goal, making that mental lapse and mistake, they were not down. The morale was up and they were laser focused. Meanwhile, on the other end, Vermont Green, there is some frustration, some anger starting to come out of that bench side.
Thank you, Lexi.
Hey, we got through that one with no pauses.
Good timing on that one.
And I think this is worth mentioning as Francouz steps out. Remember, most of these Vermont players are on minute restrictions due to their college season starting out here not too long ago. I think it's within a week or so of when their college seasons get going. So that is a limitation right now on Vermont Green. It's been very important for Chris Taylor to manage this team. That's the biggest thing he mentioned from the difference from a year ago to now is tinkering with the squad, knowing when to plug in players at the right time. And I think we're now seeing that with Ajagby, who came on as a substitute a year ago in the same exact game.
That's right, Ajagbe coming in, Francouz stepping off.
Yeah, Francouz looks very frustrated right now at the end of the Vermont bench.
All over the top. Out comes Clark. He makes a meal of it. And down goes Ajagbe. And the referee has pointed to the spot. And a yellow card has been given to Steve Clark.
If this goes in the back of the net, that is 2 giant miscues from Flint City. I don't know if Clark really had to come out for that one, but I think he pulled down the arm of Ajagbe as we get a look here. Miscue. I think he just the faintest of touches on his right arm as he pulls down Ajagbe. I think that's a PK. I think that's the correct call. Flint City's not happy about it, but I think that's the right one. And if this goes in the back of the net, 2 really big miscues by Flint City, and they only have themselves to blame for it.
That they do as Clark will get himself set there on the goal line. Zelfro will step up. Perhaps the biggest moment here of the Vermont Green season. Zelfro versus Clark. And puts it past Clark. And Vermont Green have taken a 2-1 lead off a penalty shot conversion. Ryan Zelfro getting his 5th goal of the playoffs.
We were waiting for Zelfro to make his moment on this game, a hat trick last game. The teenager has been phenomenal all year long for Vermont Green. He was a substitute a year ago. Now he's one of the main focal points of this team. Steps up in the biggest spot of the year for his team. Steve Clark even guesses the right way. Brilliant PK by Zelfro. Great pace on it. Goes to the inside of the foot. Could not have placed it any better. And now you've got Flint City. Can you still make another quick response? 14 minutes to go.
A veteran goalkeeper in Steve Clark. Many, many years in the MLS. Surely wants that one moment back.
Yes, he does, but he guessed the right way. Couldn't have asked for a better PK save opportunity, as now we're going to see Flint City make a pair of substitutions here. One of them being a former Vermont player.
So Richie Ludwig is going to step on, as well as find Njika.
Flint City substitution. Leaving the match, 23, Jack Roman, and 18, Wes Tomahawk.
So Carnival and Roman are off.
Again, outside of that set-piece chance for Flint, they really haven't created a whole lot in the run of play. They're going to have to here in the next 14 minutes.
Foster on top of that for Lopez. That's blocked.
Much better.
Shillington.
Could you imagine if that one went in? It would have been deja vu.
It would have been.
Vermont Green goal scored in the 76th minute by 27, Ryan Zelfro.
So we're going to see Will Smith step on as well here momentarily.
Yeah, it's now or never for Flint City. You're going to have to get the ball forward again. You're probably looking at Moeller Jensen. He's still been quiet. I know Paul Dora mentioned, Lexi mentioned it in her sideline reporter hit, that it's only a matter of time for Moeller Jensen to get through. They need him to step up in a big way here right now.
Rosas plays it back. And you see Colby as well for Flint City. They're now chasing after that 76th minute penalty conversion. And Zelafro will go down.
Yeah, just a mistouch initially from Kadua, and I think something for dissent.
And Miller.
Yellow card issued in the 79th minute
Yeah, I think there was just a dissent because I don't think the referee was going into his pocket at all for that one.
We're going to see some substitutions.
Yeah, he's throwing everything out that he possibly can. Every attacker that can be subbed on is going to be subbed on. Again, Vermont has not really found themselves in these opportunities. How do they handle it?
It's like Kadula coming off as well as McDade. And now a free kick has been given to Flint City, and referee.
Just some pushing and shoving. Tension's starting to boil over. Again, 11 minutes. This is typically when you see this in soccer games. A lot of tension start to boil over. You'll see a little bit more flopping, a little bit more yelling and shouting at one another.
Brandon Marshall having conversation with the center referee.
Ellis Jones, I don't know if he was mentioning that. Again, I think that's all ball. I think that's all ball by Miller. And Miller even, if you can read his lips, that's what he's saying. He got all ball. I agree with him. I think that's the wrong call by the referee. I think Miller just got a touch on it, one all ball. But let's see if Vermont Green can defend this.
Kevin Lewis, the center referee here tonight.
Ellis Jones did mention to the bench that Miller is on a yellow card. I don't know if maybe he's just going to play some mind games over here on this free kick.
And Jika will curl off into the 18. That's mistimed and
lots of space.
Lots of space. A Jagby. Great work.
It's a heavy touch. Was not needed that time from Pada. But if he just brings that a little bit tighter to himself, he's probably through. Foster's in no man's land. On an island, steps up big. And if Flint City's able to equalize, you're going to think back at that moment on the big step up defensively from Foster.
Nine minutes plus stoppage. All the way back to Clark. Late to that far side. Getting ahead on it. Chica slips. Ball played right back up.
Okay, just mentioning, Flint City really hasn't created anything in the run of play. You think of Jordy Lopez's chance that was blocked. Outside of that, they haven't generated much.
Sponsored by Dork Financial Credit Union is
All inside. That's cleared away.
Sponsors, season ticket holders, and media for your tremendous support.
They're going to see some subs here for Vermont as well.
Yeah, Vermont has just has not been in many situations like this, especially not in the playoffs. They win by an average of just under 5 goals a game. Are they going to be able to see this game out? It's going to be a big question for them. But they've handled every single task so far this year. This is the final hurdle.
Look there at Paul Doro, the head coach of the Flint City Bucks. In his third season here.
IV hydration and wellness services. Revive and Restore helps you feel refreshed, recharged, and ready to take on your day.
So we're going to see Andrea Blasio and Andrew Miller step on. Looks like Rosas and Zelafro will step off.
Zelafro steps up big time and time again for his team this year, and a player that played a much smaller role a year ago, having to be one of the main focal points of this team, having to be a leader, steps up big. And again, John, you think about it, if it remains 2-1 like this, Flint City, only really to blame but themselves. 2 giant miscues.
Self-inflicted wounds.
And 27, Ryan Zillow.
Again, Vermont's been very good tonight, but just in the final third, they haven't been as creative as you normally see. That's a great challenge.
I think they wanted maybe for some spikes up, but it looked like his spikes were down from here.
That's a great challenge. Again, Flint City just trying to get every call that they can.
And this is where, if you're Vermont, right, you've been here before, you were here last year, lean on that experience. Brandon Marshall there anchoring your back line. That's why he was there talking with Kevin Lewis about that foul that we saw here a few moments ago.
Remember, different scenarios a little bit as well. That time they found the goal late. This time they've got to defend with a lead. But really, I'd like to see Flint just push up just a little bit more.
Foster tried to bring it down, unable to do so. They'll recycle it.
Just so confident on the ball, this Vermont team is. Playing with such composure. Again, different story this year. They're being more as the hunted.
Good ball out wide. Cutting inside, shot low and right into the hands of Steve Clark.
And it's worth mentioning as well, Vermont has not lost a game. Vermont Green, the USL2 side, has not won a full or real live game since July 21st, 2024 in the Eastern Conference Finals. They have done nothing but win. Chris Taylor's done a phenomenal job here. Over 40 games unbeaten.
It's amazing to think about that and what they've been able to do.
It's going to stay in.
It will. That one will not. 86th minute. Oh. Remember, the USL League 2 final is presented by Venture HR. Business just got easier. Learn more at venturehr.com. Well, kind of skips right in the middle of the park. Shillington pushes it out wide. That's Ludwig. Plays it back. Colby. Back to Smith.
So good defensively. So good. The way they shut that down. Foster was making it diagonal. Great communication between the back line of Vermont. Phenomenal defending yet again by Vermont. We're going to have to do this handful more times.
Settle down. That's going to be cleared out. Last touched off of Vermont, and that's the first corner kick of the game for Flint. 87 minutes in.
That's just a testament of how good defensively Vermont has been. Again, we've talked about how much they score, but defensively, only 2 goals given up in the playoffs.
Well-driven ball towards that back post. Jones was there at the end. Now Muller-Jensen will one time on the half volley, puts it up and over.
Yeah, Muller-Jensen, he's been quiet in this game. It's a good shot, really. And typically when he gets a shot, he typically starts to pick things up. We'll see if he can find a little bit of brilliance here in the final 3 minutes plus stoppage.
It's been an exciting game, though, Ryan. This is what championship games are all about.
Yeah, typical cup final, like we mentioned, time and time again. Slow first half, things would start to open up in the second. And they almost all happen at the same time as well. Chances come in thick and fast. After that first goal is in, that just stayed in. But look at Chris Taylor on the touchline right there with the makeshift technical area with the cones.
Colby out wide. Finding Foster on that far side. Maintain possession. Now this being sent across and nobody there for Flint.
Yeah, they can still keep them in though. You got to win the ball up high up the field. Again, we talked about it with Vermont on the other side. Get them off their spots defensively. And Flint's going to have to do the same here. Again, probably much more stoppage time than it was in the first half, but chances are starting to dwindle down for Flint.
Creeping closer and closer to the 90th minute. Do they have some magic here in Vehicle City? Ball played inside. That's Shillington. Now Ludwig looking to go back across and out for another corner now. Corner number 2.
A little bit of life now from Flint, just finding those little pockets of space. That's going to be big. As you can see Ludwig trying to get the crowd into it, or excuse me, Colby just trying to get the crowd into it just a little bit as we inch closer and closer to stoppage. Or secret time.
Officially in the 90th minute.
There was a collision last time. I think the referee just trying to clean things up this time.
Well-driven ball. Paiva goes up, and it's right through traffic into the gut of Wilson. Paiva got on the end of that one.
That's not an easy save by Wilson because there's a lot of traffic in there. And if you see there, I think it's Paiva who's a very physical battle. Oh, and Shillington even there just kind of screening Wilson.
The referee has indicated a minimum of 5 minutes of stoppage time.
So 5 minutes, the crowd here excited about that. On the flip side,
Vermont, it's going to be the longest
Vermont,
5 minutes.
Longest 5 minutes ever.
The 5 minutes are going to feel like an eternity to them. But remember last time on Sunday night against Ventura County, it was 5 minutes of added time as well. And then Angel Hernandez's contact got loosened, added extra time, and that's where Flint City was able to find their winner. Let's see if they can use this stoppage time yet again to find that equalizer and force an extra 30.
Smith.
Ladies and gentlemen, please do not enter onto the field until after the award ceremony has concluded.
So it's a long throw and looking for Lopez. In the corner.
Need some help. But look at this defending right here from Vermont. They've got all the numbers. 3 against 2.
Marshall just couldn't turn on that ball and it'll go out. And so we'll see a long throw in here from Will Smith. And these are the kind of moments, Ryan, where chaos in the box in the playoffs, right? Where a ball just falls. Opportunistic moment for teams. Ball's thrown in. It's cleared away, but not out of danger quite yet. Back to Smith. But to get it across, that's blocked.
Flint wants to get it at the back post, but they just can't. Look at this closing down as well from Vermont again. And this is the 93rd or 90th plus third minute at the moment, and that's great defense from de Blasio.
Almost made its way towards Lopez. Foster. Pushes it out wide. Jika.
Flint wants advantage.
Into the box. Plays it back for Njika. Still top of the 18. Takes a swing and a miss. That's deflected. And Wilson covers it up.
Just a slow roller. I don't know if that's going on target on the way in, but some chaos just outside the 18. Gets a shot in on it. And you think Flint's going to have at least one really good opportunity late in this.
In the 4th minute of stoppage time. USL League 2 National Final. Smith tried to get there. He doesn't. Barrow now out wide.
Get to the corner.
Blasio.
Again, you're going to look to try to get into the corner, try to milk the last minute and a half of the minimum.
Jagby just could not control that as it skips out. So
It's going to be a gift for Flint.
So Foster could be the last opportunity here of this game. Last touched off of Vermont. Njika waits on that ball, maybe for too long.
Just not enough space at all. Vermont defensively so good yet again. They're going to have to defend one last wave.
There's an errant pass there from Steve Clark, and referee is going to call a foul.
Ooh. Unless he got body before the ball. I don't think that's a... I didn't think there was a foul. I thought that was a good clean tackle.
The ball comes in. Not sure where that was going, and that was a miscue. As that one skips out, and that might have been the last opportunity of this game.
Yeah, Flint, they got to keep them in if they just can. You think maybe that there's 30 seconds added on here? But Vermont can smell it.
And there it is. Vermont Green have won the USL League 2 National Final back-to-back.
The 2026 USL League 2 National Final. Flint City Bucks won.
History just continues for this Vermont Green SC side.
Please drive home safely.
Yeah, you're right. History just continues to go on this Vermont side. The club now 2-1. If you count the USLW, 2-1 in the USLW and USL2 record. But I think they're the better team on the day, John. I know teenager Ryan Zelfro steps up and takes, and then the own goal by Ellis Jones.
Well, don't go anywhere. The excitement will continue here from Atwood Stadium as champions are crowned. So don't go anywhere. USL League 2 final, presented by Venture HR. We'll be back after this.
Around the globe, thousands of businesses rely on Venture to keep their operations humming. From payroll and benefits to technology platforms, HR support, and talent solutions, over 3 million employees and their businesses trust Venture will be there for them day in and day out. Venture HR supports every step from hire to retire.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Great game footage starts with VIO. Now a pass deep and up front. With NSN, we can transfer your VIO footage into a professional broadcast. Elevate your VIO experience today. Call 248-525-2083.
Opportunity and a shot and a goal!
The National Soccer Network, your home for soccer.
Every day across the U.S. and around the globe, thousands of businesses rely on Venture to keep their operations humming. From payroll and benefits to technology platforms, HR support, and talent solutions, over 3 million employees and their businesses trust Venture will be there for them day in and day out. Venture HR supports every step, from hire to retire.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Hello, and welcome back to the 2026 USL League 2 National Champion. A winner has been decided. It's Vermont Green FC who got it done 2-1 after 90-plus minutes of action. But it was the Flint City Bucks and their mental mistakes that led to the Vermont Green win.
It was. You want to talk about a player who went through an emotional roller coaster in this match? Well, everyone among the 6,500 plus around here, but also Ellis Jones. The own goal conceded there in the 62nd. It's originally served in by Rosas. We know he was a dangerous attacker. We knew he'd be heavily involved in those attacks. Rosas puts it in a good spot, and Jones puts it in the back of the net for his own club. The thing, though, unbelievably quick response. Was your head a little whipping around with that?
It was 100%, but the thing is, I was down roaming the sidelines next to the Flint City Bucks after the own goal mistake by Ellis Jones, and there was no morale that was low on the Flint City Bucks bench. Everyone was laser focused, locked in, ready for that redemption arc, and Ellis Jones did exactly that. He assisted the goal that came for the Flint City Bucks following.
Yeah, in fairness, Paiva puts that one on target. It volleys a couple of times off the headers. There was less than 2 minutes of match time for them to even get down and think about it. You had no time. You put that ball down, you kick off, and all of a sudden, immediately you get a free kick down there, and that perfect set, and Paiva doesn't miss. That is as quick a response, I think, and it tells you all about the mindset of that team that, hey, we are gonna be okay after this one. We can flip that switch and get right back into that positive mindset.
The battling through adversity, typical for the Flint City Bucks. They're used to that type of experience. They've got players from about 10 different countries coming together. That alone is adversity coming together to create a team, and not just a team, but a family. But unfortunately for the Flint City Bucks, following right after that heroic moment of redemption and the arc felt like it was going the Bucks' way, it was the most seasoned goalkeeper in the USL League 2, Steve Clark, who ended up giving a PK away to Vermont Green.
Yeah, he did in that 75th minute. He had to try and make a heroic challenge, got a little bit too much body, not quite enough ball, and he makes a fantastic, unbelievable effort. I told you off air, Alexis, I said I was all but certain that he was going to make that save, and he picks the right side. Ryan Zelafro just puts enough sauce on it. You want to talk about a game of inches, and I think he even gets a piece. Does Clark in goal, and still that ball trickles on through. It's down and low to Clark's right side, and that's your winner. Zelafro is going to adorn those heads of Vermont Green with the second crown in a row here for 2026.
And Tanner, what was really interesting throughout this game is the players that we highlighted to start off this game. Of course, Muller, Jensen, and Franku, a little quiet throughout the matchup, but it was role players who stepped up and showed out when it mattered most.
I warned you, when you got too much double marking on Franku, I said somebody else is going to get loose and that ball is going to find somebody else. And that's partly a result of picking up that 110% effort, hitting that final gear. Sometimes when you do that, that effort rewards you, right? And so it's kind of exactly what happens there. Zelafro getting that PK just awarded, and he should be thanking his lucky stars to a degree, but puts his body on the line for it. And that is how you win a championship. That is how you give that last full measure, as it were.
Stoppage time added after a full 90 minutes of action allowed Flint City Bucks to try and find that magic. It just didn't work out, even though that was the most attacking we got to see out of the Bucks throughout the entirety of the game.
Yeah, I tell you, on the very last set that Flint had in regular time, there was one more chance for Ellis Jones, I believe, to be the hero. From everything that I saw down here, it became quite a mosh pit around that goal frame. We've been telling you that it is incredibly tight, that Flint really just does a fantastic job finishing in front of the goal frame. Jones gets his head on that, directs it onto the goal, but it is saved, that game-winning save there for Seth Wilson. And I think that is all the time that we got. What a pleasure it's been to bring you the 2026 USL League 2 Championship Match post-game show. Tanner White and Alexis Ayala, what a pleasure it's been. And let's send it back up one more time to the guys. John and Ryan.
Representing USL League 2, Joel Nash, Senior Vice President, Youth and Pre-Professional, and Jason Thomas, Director of Player Recruitment and Scouting.
Dang it, just got too loud. The very last part I didn't like, but just got too
We begin the ceremony by recognizing the referees that officiated the national.
Where people were hopefully still watching it and they turned it off.
Referee Kevin Lewis. Assistant referee Salvador Reyes. Assistant referee Viviana Diaz. Fourth official Adam Sipakowski, and referee coach Nicole Branger-Hughes.
I've done it a number of times. Like, you just bring it down and go into the number one line. Yeah, that's the same thing.
And now, introducing the 2026 USL League 2 finalists, the Flint City Bucks. Congratulations to the Flint City Bucks on an incredible season in the USL League 2. Now introducing the 2026 USL League 2 Final MVP, presented by Venture HR. Vermont Green FC number 27, Ryan Zillabrook. And now introducing the 2026 USL League 2 champions, Vermont Green FC. Congratulations to Vermont Green FC on winning the 2026 USL League 2 Final. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending the 2026 USL League 2 Final at historic Atwood Stadium in Flint, Michigan. Please travel safely on your way home.
Jubilation continues here at Atwood Stadium as, again, the Vermont Green FC for the second time in their history and in a year in a row are national champions.
Yeah, the history here of winning the first ever back-to-back USL2 championship. And, John, I just look at this game, and if you look out throughout the entire season, I mean, Flint City's a good side. They did not get here by accident, but there are levels, as Thierry Henry would like to say. There are levels, and the level that Vermont Green was today compared to Flint City was just a level higher. The way they dictated the tempo, the way that they played, they were not great in the final third. Two really bad goals given up by Flint City, but you know what? They didn't make the mistakes. That's all they needed to do. They showed their brilliance here. Not the same final as it was a year ago, but all that matters is winning a championship, and now you put them in a pedigree that no team has ever accomplished in the USL2 as they make their way over to the fans.
As they should. It's, again, Zelafro, MVP here of the final, and can't say enough about him, what he did in this playoffs. I mean, he had 5 goals and 3 assists in the playoffs. Converted that penalty shot, the eventual game winner.
Yeah,
and they're champions again.
Yeah, just a teenager, too. This guy a year ago was not the main guy on this team. He was a substitute, an impactful substitute at that, and he steps in this year in a much higher role, a main focal point of the team, a leader on this team. And he was phenomenal. And he steps up with the game-winning goal here. Again, the goals, it doesn't matter how it goes in, as long as it goes into the back of the net. And that's exactly what they did here today. And Vermont Green, I think they deserve to have it. Ryan Zelfro, a phenomenal performance, a quiet one at times as well. But he scores the most important goal, and that's the game-winning goal that gives Vermont Green the 2026 USL2 championship.
Continued celebration here at Atwood Stadium. Don't go anywhere. When we come back here, we'll have some interviews here from hopefully Seth Wilson as well as Elafro, who's the MVP for the national finals here. But you're watching continuing coverage here of the USL League 2 national final, presented by Venture HR on Sports Engine Play.
Across the U.S. and around the globe, thousands of businesses rely on Venture to keep their operations humming. From payroll and benefits to technology platforms, HR support, and talent solutions, over 3 million employees and their businesses trust Venture will be there for them day in and day out. Venture HR supports every step, from hire to retire.
USL Youth is where the journey begins. Each summer, USL Youth creates a competitive playing environment that complements the existing calendar, offering meaningful games, opportunities to play unique competition, and a great alternative to traditional preseason tournaments, all tied in to a national final. The summer programming is built for players from U10 through U19, designed to elevate player development and connect clubs to something bigger. USL Youth brings together the experiences, moments, and relationships that shape a player's journey, meeting every participant where they are and fueling the reasons why they play. This is USL Youth. This is why.
Welcome to the National Soccer Network, your home for soccer. One destination, every match, every moment. Built for players, powered by passion. Live games, highlights, and more each and every day. Only on the National Soccer Network.
Pain doesn't care who you are Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Every day across the U.S. and around the globe, thousands of businesses rely on Venture to keep their operations humming. From payroll and benefits to technology platforms, HR support, and talent solutions, over 3 million employees and their businesses trust Venture will be there for them day in and day out. Venture HR supports every step, from hire to retire.
The excitement continues here, Ryan, as a continuing coverage here of a post-game here of this USL League 2 National Final. Vermont Green FC coming away with a 2-1 victory here over Flint City Bucks at Atwood Stadium, historic Atwood Stadium. We're bringing to our press box again, Jonathan Turner alongside Ryan Glinsky, hoping you enjoyed the coverage here today of this USL League 2 National Final. And Ryan, as we talk about this matchup and talk about this game, you can't say enough about what Vermont Green FC did here tonight. And also on the flip side of that, what Flint City did, was able to do throughout the playoffs, but just unable to do it here tonight.
Yeah, they weren't able to find that magical moment that they have so many times here so far in the playoffs. And they just made too many mistakes that we typically don't see from Flint City. And Ellis Jones' own goal, how great has he been for this club the last 2 years? Steve Clark, an uncharacteristic PK. He also he creates that PK, an uncharacteristic moment from him. And it just felt like more mistakes were made by Flint City rather than Vermont Green. Again, they were phenomenal on the day, a level above Flint City. They deserve to have this championship, and they were the better team. But you're right, Flint City, uncharacteristic mistakes that they made tonight.
Yeah, no question about that. And you saw it obviously from players who have been doing this, for a long time. And ultimately, saw Steve Clark, right, makes that mistake, which led to a penalty kick conversion, right? You saw what happened with that own goal, but they were able to capitalize here just 2 minutes later and equalize. But then it was just, hey, that goal that was given up on the penalty shot, that was all she wrote.
Yeah, and you think about that right after that PK went in, Jordy Lopez's chance that was just inside the 18, that was blocked. But you think about this Vermont Green side. They had a whole bunch of doubts coming in. They answered all those doubts last week with they can't win on the road. Then they answer the doubts here today by having a little bit of adversity. They're able to stick it out, and they are champions and deserve.
We're going to now send it down to Lexi and Tanner, who have the MVP standing by.
Scored the winning goal for his Vermont Green squad off of a PK. It was an incredible goal. Can you walk through what was going through your mind in that moment?
Yeah, obviously nerves. Jagby drew the pen, huge by him, and then stepped up there. I'd taken one in the semifinal, but we were up by much more, so a little less nerves, but just a couple deep breaths and picked my spot and slotted it home.
Hey, I got to say, you saw Jeremy Franku getting doubled a lot on ball, right? That double mark was going to come. And we kind of said from up here, well, some of these quote-unquote other guys might have to step out. And we can't shortchange it. It's 11 goals on the year for you and 5 goals for this postseason run. Was that net just looking, the size of the whole width of the field to you, was it just looking huge?
Yeah, it's a big field, honestly, but I think we spread them out well. We played good team football, and the chances were few, but when they came, we took the most of them.
Ryan, as a returner from your defending championship squad, what does it mean to you to be able to come back here, back-to-back champions, and be one of the leaders of this team?
It means everything. Obviously would have loved to be home, but put us on the road, and we had so much fun these past 2 trips in Laredo and here. It's a great group of guys, great organization, and so happy for everyone.
And how about your guy, Seth Wilson, making sure everything stays clean back there?
Makes me not have to defend. When you have a goalie like that, you can stay higher a little bit. So all props to him.
Awesome. Well, we'd love at that time to bring in goalkeeper Seth Wilson. Did an incredible job in goal for his Vermont Green squad, helping lead them to back-to-back championships. What does this mean to you, for your team, for your community?
It means everything. Like, as soon as I got to Vermont, I knew the place was different, and I knew that the community was going to back us for the entire season like they did last year. And, we owed it to them to make sure to make it to this step. And, every step of the way we went through adversity, we went through travel, but, we knocked out a team, came here, and we took care of business. So it feels absolutely amazing, and the win goes out to them for sure.
Hey, Seth, look, the celebrations are just beginning, but we really want to, down the line, hear how it compares to last year. Talk to us a little bit about the celebration, the process of last year. You guys had big parades, processions, those kinds of things, and how was the response when you guys brought that cup home last year?
Well, I actually wasn't on Vermont Green last year, but some of the guys at UNCG, Arnaud Tatovan, Julien Labordelus, they were big pieces in the team, and so whenever it came time to figure out a summer league, they were pushing Vermont Green so much. They said it was the best place to be in the country, and I know that when they won it last year, that they were buzzing when they came home, and it made it a lot easier for them to come back into UNCG for the fall, and we had a really good year. So I feel like this win is gonna carry on for all the boys, and in this upcoming fall season for sure.
And Seth, head coach Chris Taylor, he's a passionate coach down there on the sidelines. What does it mean to you to be able to repay him for all the work, love, and dedication that he's poured into all of you?
I mean, it means the world to have a manager that backs us with everything that we do. He knows that we're capable of doing things like we did tonight, and just making sure that we're staying healthy and that we're in form. But everyone on the roster tonight and the guys that couldn't make it would die for him, and that's just something that he started, the mentality of this is something that we have to protect, and this is a goal that we have, and so every step of the way we just got to keep ticking.
Any other thanks, any other credit you want to give for this entire 2026 National Championship run?
I mean, I love to thank my family. The past couple years has definitely been rough for me, and so being able to experience this was an absolute blessing. Shout out my coach at UNCG, Chris Rich, for making this happen, and I'm ready to go back and start this fall season, and hopefully good things will come from there.
Last question for you. Back-to-back champions. How do you continue this dynasty with Vermont Green FC?
I mean, it can only get better, right? Especially this year. It was a place that everyone wanted to be, and you could tell that by our quality. Throughout the entire season, we probably had 50 guys come in and out, and they were 50 of the best guys that you can recruit in the country. And the fact that we were able to, still gel a roster for this playoff run, it's only going to add to whenever decisions have to be made in the summer next year. And, everyone wants to be here, so better be ready.
Seth, appreciate your time. At this time, we would love to welcome in head coach Chris Taylor, who has led this squad to back-to-back championships here at Atwood Stadium in Flint, Michigan. You have officially been crowned the champions after a slower first half. That second half was packed full of action. What are you most proud of your squad for accomplishing there?
Yeah, I mean, so much. I mean, got to give credit to Flint City. They were outstanding. They made us really work for it. Tremendous defensively. We had to make some adjustments because they did a couple of things we didn't expect, but the boys were they went again and again and again, and Flint were kind of repelling most things we tried, to be honest. But I think the discipline from the guys to control the game, even though they were getting a little bit frustrated, was really impressive.
How about cranking up that level of physicality for the second half? 50-50 balls turning into 80-20 balls, those kind of things going your way. Does that come down to you? Who do you credit that to?
Yeah, I mean, you look at our team, we're not very big, right? You look at Flint, they're massive, and we've got a lot of guys who play a lot bigger than they are, and that's been a hallmark of our game all summer. We have extremely talented players, but we said all summer we're not going to rely on talent, we're going to rely on the things we can control, and I think the guys were outstanding again at winning duels. We know that Flint City, when they win second balls, they can really hurt you. We hammered it home, and guys like F.A. and Connor Miller and Ryan, I mean, I could name the whole team, were just outstanding at loose balls, and that was the key to the game, to be honest.
Coach, it was incredible. Zellerfro, the MVP of the national championship game, and then in getting to talk to Seth, your goalkeeper, he talked about how every guy on this squad would die for you, his quote, exactly. What does it mean to you to not just believe in your team and put your dedication into them, but to have that come back to you?
Yeah, I mean, I've got so much gratitude. This is an outstanding group. It's a young group. And so the leadership from a lot of guys like Brandon Marshall, and Ryan's the youngest player on the team, and his leadership was outstanding. Seth has been fantastic. So I think the relationships are really important to me. As I've gotten older as a coach, I've gotten less coachy and more relationship based. I still love the tactics and the soccer side, but these guys bring the best out of me, to be honest. I can't help but be excited to see them every day and be around them every day. I count them as friends as well. You know, they're just outstanding young men, and I'm really, really proud of them.
All right, so we just asked Seth, only fair that we give you a chance as well. Any final credits, any final thanks you want to give to anybody who contributed across this tremendous national championship run?
Yeah, I mean, I could be here all night, to be honest, but I think what makes Vermont Green special, and USL2 special, but in particular Vermont Green, you see our travel and support. We're not a full-time club, we're all part-time or volunteer. We're doing it for the love of it, and there's so many people back in Vermont, there's so many people associated with the club who sacrifice our day jobs, we sacrifice family time. My assistant coaches, I mean, they're not making any money, you know, they're doing it because they want to contribute to the game and contribute to these young guys. So I could sit here all night naming everyone, but Vermont Green is about Vermont, it's about community, it's about people, it's about family, and the result comes out on the field. We have a really big why, and it is our people. So I think everyone deserves credit. We have a saying within the club that everyone has a part to play, and it's just as important as the next person. So we're grateful to everyone.
Coach, appreciate you so much. You can go celebrate with your team. I know the celebrations are just getting started. That was Vermont Green's head coach, Chris Taylor. Such an honor to talk to Chris and a company. Incredible work from Vermont Green, getting the job done in the national championship game, 2-1 against the Flint City Bucks. The dynasty is just beginning for that young squad. We can't wait for next season and everything that will entail. It has been an absolute honor, Tanner.
You've set all the storylines, and I think that's all the time that we've got. We do have to go up to the guys upstairs, John and Ryan, once more to close it out. But for Tanner White and Alexis Ayala, it's been such a pleasure bringing you post-game coverage of the 2026 USL2 National Championship.
Yeah, thank you, Lexi and Tanner. A fantastic job here this evening as we continue our coverage here of the postgame here of this USL League 2 National Final. What a night it was here. Pictures continuing, excitement for this Vermont Green FC side. And, you know, it's one of the things that we love about sports, right, where you have the excitement and the joy that comes with winning a championship, and on the flip side that a team has to go home who didn't win. And you know, but it's a great moment for USL League 2. It's a great moment for Vermont Green FC.
Yeah, it is, and it almost feels like this is now their moment. Flint City was the kings of the USL2 in the 2010s. It now feels like Vermont Green, this is their decade. This is the 2020s. This is them. They have now won 2 back-to-back champions. Ballard FC is feeling the same exact thing that they felt against Flint City. It's almost the same story as well. 2-1 finishes. Ballard FC late winner against Flint City a year ago. Flint City late winner against Ventura County this year. But you just think about it with Vermont. Zelfro was a player on the bench a year ago. He now steps up in the biggest moments. You have second-year players. Brandon Marshall, now Defensive Player of the Year. He is the captain. He is a returner. It feels like they are starting to build something in Burlington, Vermont, and they just continue to just churn out players year after year, and it sort of feels like they're starting to take over this entire league and start using that dynasty word with them.
Undefeated since 2024. You've got 2 national championships in that time period. I mean, you just can't say enough about this team. And ultimately, someone has to win, right? And Vermont Green FC has shown the nation as to why they are champions.
Yeah, they are. There's levels to this game, as we mentioned already. Vermont Green just dominating the play, dictating the tempo. It felt like the ball was always in the defensive third of Flint City this entire game. But you know what? They constantly show up. They constantly get the goals that they needed. It was not the prettiest of goals that went in, but you know what? 2 mistakes. They just put the pressure on, kept putting the pressure on wave after wave, and eventually they made Flint City fold. 2 big mistakes by Flint City on the PK, and that own goal by Ellis Jones. And again, they deserve to be the champion here tonight.
Absolutely. Again, we're going to take a look here at some of the highlights from this game. We showed some of the goal highlights, obviously. In the first half, there wasn't a lot to really get into, right? It was 0-0 going into the halftime break. All 3 goals coming here in the second half. And for Vermont, this is a team that coming into this game had scored 19 goals in the playoffs.
Yeah, they were shut out. This is every single game this year, Vermont Green has scored more than 2 goals. And I thought that wasn't going to hold up true after that first half. It was a typical cup final, as we said, in the halftime and obviously in the first half as well. But again, in cup finals, crazy things happen all the time as they just continue to find the moments that Vermont Green, again, another uncharacteristic mistake by Steve Clark. We talked about his MLS pedigree, his pedigree all year long, but he makes the uncharacteristic mistake right there. And then you talk about the teenager, Ryan Zelfro, stepping up in a big-time moment and putting the ball in the back of the net to give Vermont Green the championship.
Put it past Steve Clark, dove the right way. Got a piece of it, just could not keep it from going into the back of the net. I want to thank our production crew here tonight. A lot of team went into this on both from the standpoint, or a lot of effort from the players and the referees and the staff at USL League 2. Our production team did a fantastic job here tonight as well. I want to thank our camera operators, our producers, replay graphics, all of the above. Tanner White, as well as Lexi Ayala, handled our pregame, halftime, and postgame coverage. And Ryan, man, it was a pleasure working with you once again to finalize this season. We were part of the Games of the Week. We were part of the USLW final, and now here the USL League 2 final. I want to thank everyone for being a part of this. Your final score for one final time. Vermont Green FC 2, Flint City Bucks 1, and they are your USL League 2 national champions for 2026. My name's Jonathan Turner. Have a great rest of your evening, and we'll see you next season right back here in USL League 2. So long, everybody.